Let's get mic'd up, please.
Good evening, gentlemen, and folks that are watching the game here at the BPL Stadium live from the Indian boundary at this Nine Sports T20 League. Badshahz versus Golden Eagles. Tonight we have Badshahz having won the toss, electing to bat. Ali Chaudhry and Zohad in the center. Haris Afandi into the attack, sends it down into the off. Fuller. Zohad tries to get the bat on it, misses it. Welcome to the broadcast. Thank you for joining us. This should be a really good game. Beautiful night here at the BPL Stadium. A bit humid after a bit of rain in the last couple of days. Fuller down the leg this time, tries to go into the onside, doesn't connect. An extra. He might have clipped his pad, I believe, so not to be. It's an extra wide delivery down the leg. So 5 runs have come so far in this Haris's first over against Badshahz. Short this time into the offside. He tries to slash it into the offside. No connection being made there at all from Zohad. Fuller into the middle stump this time, just taps it into the onside behind the wicket. Take a quick single. A bit of an error in the scoring ticker at the bottom of the screen. Mind you, folks, that is the responsibility of the batting teams and whoever they have delegated for the scoring at the Cricket Club's app. It was definitely Zohad on a strike. Last couple of deliveries. Ali just comes in, takes his guard. What should be 2 legal deliveries remaining, I believe, in this first over. Haris to Ali. Fuller, shorter, 2 wide, extra given from umpire Shri of ours. Fuller into the leg, just taps it from the feet into the onside, and half-hearted appeal from Haris for the leg before. Obviously a bit of bat involved on that occasion. 7 or 8 rather have runs come in this Haris's first. 1 legal delivery remains. Very decent delivery. Played off the feed into the onside for a quick single. Zohad should be back on strike in the second over. So far, Badshahz having scored 9 in this first. We are so happy to be able to bring this live broadcast to you folks. After a couple of obstacles from the weather perspective, it's pretty humid at the moment at the BPL Stadium. No breeze whatsoever. As I welcome Julian into the comm box tonight to speak words of wisdom for this game from Badshahz versus Golden Eagles.
Thank you, Rico Suave. How are you doing, everybody, tonight? This is Julian Callahor coming to you from the beautiful Bolingbroke Stadium on a fairly warm, muggy night. There was rain, a little bit of rain earlier today. The forecast for tonight's match was a little bit tenuous, but it seems to have improved. The chances for rain seems to have gone down, so I think there's going to be a good window to get the match completed, the full 20 overs. But as a result of the earlier rain, it is a little bit muggy tonight. Going to have Hamza coming into bowl, full toss. Zohad's dominated the early strike tonight. Hamza continuing. Just skip through the keeper. Awkward take by the keeper, but certainly managed to prevent any additional runs. But yes, so we're off to a decent start. The Badshahz. Badshahz led by Ali, who's opening the batting, who's only had the one ball, or faced the one delivery so far. Hamza continues. Good ball. In towards the toes. Zohad manages to dig it out. Just tapped it, squirted it out more towards the cover region for a single. So again, if you're in the area in beautiful Bolingbrook, again the weather forecast has improved tonight. Looks like we should have a decent night for some cricket. The ground's in good shape, able to absorb any of the rain that has fallen earlier today, and thankfully again no rain or no significant chance of rain tonight, so we should get this game completed. Weather's right around the 75-degree mark. For those of you listening in Celsius, that would be right around 24-25 degrees Celsius. Ali on strike. Faced just his second delivery. Crab-like stance and clean bowled. Swung all over the top of that one. Really not the sort of shot that was required at this moment. Just a big lift of the head and a big swing. Crab-like stance and clean really bowl onto the bat. A little bit of movement back towards the batsman from the left-hander and took out the off stump pretty cleanly, as you saw there. So good delivery from Hamza. He's started off quite nicely tonight. Early wicket, which is what Golden Eagles would be after.
Crab-like stance and...
For those of you who haven't watched any of our broadcasts before, or just listening in, the general par score on this ground is around the 150-160 mark. Usually after the power play overs, teams are looking to have around 40 on the board. One early wicket's usually not a big concern, but Golden Eagles will be looking to make some early inroads during the power play overs. We're following the ICC standard T20 match rules, so that would mean for the first 6 overs of the innings under power play, only 2 fielders allowed outside the 30-yard circle. At the end of 6 overs from the 7th over onwards, you can have 5 players, if desired, outside the 30-yard circle. So the new batsman comes to the crease. Shout out to Shaz, who's watching out there, watching his team, the Badshahz, play. Probably going to have some gentle ribbing for his captain Ali for getting out to a wild swing, as he should. So Umar Chowdhury is the new batsman, just taking guard. Might want to take off guard based on that previous delivery. And the clouds seem to be thinning out. Some daylight, the last vestiges of the sun just peering through the sky on the western edge of the ground, which would be to the right of your screen. Hamza to continue. Full toss, a little ball sort of dipping there. It seemed to take a little bit of pace off that, but Umar scampering back. Good throw from the deep, put the pressure on the batsman, but they were able to easily come back for 2 runs. So Umar off the mark, he'd be happy with that. And Hamza with a successful over so far. Looking just to finish off with the last ball of the over. Awkward swing. Was not paying attention to the previous dismissal. Didn't really get onto that and just dribbled out from his feet a little bit. No run, and that brings us to the end of 2 overs. Badshahz run rate not too bad, 7 runs and over after 2, 1 early wicket down. Still very much early in the piece here, Rick, but Badshahz, apart from that wicket, doing okay at this moment.
Absolutely. On that occasion of Hamza's wicket against Ali, I do believe it nipped back in a little bit. Going across the line on that occasion didn't really seem to be what should have been tried. Nonetheless, 1 wicket down Badshahz, 14, run rate being 7.0 to very experienced batters at the center in Omar Chaudhary and Zohad Hussain. From Badshahz tonight, change of bowling from Golden Eagles. Zohad should be back on strike. Irfan to Zohad. Fuller plays it off the feet into the mid-off region. Chance of a catch just right within the circle while they scamper for a single. Good cricket all around. Beg your pardon, no run. On that occasion, Zohad should be back on strike again. Irfan from the hill end goes shorter into the leg stump. He just defends it at the back foot into the onside for a dot delivery. Fuller this time down the leg. I don't think there's any connection at all. Umpire seems to signal that it may have placed the pad on the way to the keeper. So a dot delivery in the end. Decent start from Golden Eagles in this. Irfan's first. Yet again, down the leg, short. He just swivels, plays it down into the fine leg regions. Run a very fast single, come back for the second very comfortably. Zohad, that is. Fuller into the middle, right at the feet, just defends it at the front feet. Very decent over from Irfan thus far, only conceding 2. Last legal delivery remains in this third over from Golden Eagles against Badshahz. Fuller this time into the off, on the full, plays it into the short mid-off region, just past the circle, take a quick single, putting himself back on strike, I believe, at the end of the third. 17 for loss of 1. Badshahz, run rate being 5.76. Decent start all around, Julian.
Yeah, Rick, fairly evenly poised, I say, at this stage. Badshahz getting some runs on the board, just under the 6 run and over mark right now, which is sort of the minimum of where they'd expect to be at this moment. Again, with the early wicket down. 1 early wicket in the 6 over power play is not so bad for either team. Usually you send one guy out to maybe try chasing some quick runs in the knowledge that he may be dismissed early. It's a fairly common tactic these days, going back to the days of Brendan McCullum for New Zealand. Sometimes it pays off well, sometimes it doesn't work out. Tonight it didn't really work out, but nonetheless it's worth a shot. If you can pile on some quick runs during the first 6 overs, can put you at a distinct advantage. Hamza to continue. Good over, that one a little bit over pitched. Wasn't quite timed. Chipped over the cover region for an easy single. He was looking for 2, but Umer slipped down at the striker's end. Didn't find his footing, not able to come back for the second run. So just the 1 run there. Brings Umer on strike. Again, we've got the floodlights on. Just a little apology to people watching out there. We will have all our cameras in effect. We're just working with the one camera for the moment. Due to some earlier wet weather, we weren't able to get everything set up quite in time, and we're going to get that rectified here shortly. Big appeal for LBW, but would be pretty questionable decision if it was given at the time, with that angle coming from left arm over the wicket, bowling fairly wide of the crease, bowling to the right-hand batsman. It quite clearly pitched outside the leg stump. May have gone on to hit the stumps, but once again, if it pitches outside leg stump, there's no chance of the LBW's decision being enforced. Good delivery outside the off stump, just changing his line and his length there, tempting the batsman into a big drive. Deceived him with the angle and beat him quite handily there. Big appeal for the court behind, at least by Hamza. He was quite interested in that, but umpire Sri was non-plus. Big shake of the head. No. The better delivery, but flicked off the pads around the corner. Going to look for two. Some good running there by Umar. Is going to be a good throw. May have put him under some pressure, but as it was, the quick running perhaps put the fielder under some pressure. He had to get a quick throw back to the keeper. It wasn't quite as accurate as needed to be to threaten for a run out. And we see two more runs added to the score. Now we do have a little bit more sun coming through the west. Gonna maybe actually throw a few shadows on the ground if we're lucky. There we go. So nice looking shot by Umar, but there's a fielder out there. Straight to the fielder, long off and dropped. That one should have been taken. He made good room. Looks like he may not have picked it up quite as cleanly from the get-go, but did manage to obviously get his eyes on the ball. He was in good position. Hands are at his waist. Should have been a very comfortable catching height, but he dropped it. So a life there for Umar, able to come through for the single. You really can't afford to do that. Zohad with a strange looking but well controlled squirt to the gully region to pick up a single to end the over. Another tidy over there from Hamza. He should now have 1 for 10 after his 2 overs, so that's a pretty handy start for an opening spell. So Rick, I would say that Golden Eagles maybe just got their nose in front right now. Still very early in the piece.
Yeah, Julian, a bit early, absolutely, but that, for my liking, was a bit of a sitter in the deep. He hardly had to move. The long off fielder, that is, just scoops out of his hand and provides Umar another life, like Julian said. Badshahz at 21 for the loss of 1. 2 overs remaining in the power play. Remind you folks, Zohad back on strike. Has done fairly well. He's done 14 off of 16. Fuller into the off, just drives it down the ground into the off region, just at the circle for a single, putting Umar Chaudhry back on strike. Just really thankful for the thick layer of cloud picking up and a breeze coming through. It's been super humid last couple of hours here at the stadium as we prepped and got these things set up. Since Umar Chaudhry hasn't had a go from this end, he marks and takes his guard and gets ready to face Irfan, who is bowling his second from the hill end. Fuller into the leg stump, just digs it out within the circle into the onside for no run. Full toss, plays it super powerfully into the onside, goes all the way for a 6 in the deep, and What a shot from Umar Chaudhry that was. Gets in the position early, sees it, times it. Beautiful looking 6. That ought to give him a lot of confidence. Anytime you're at the center and trying to get a bit of go, and then you pick up a 6. This one off the feed into the offside this time, and just past the circle into the long off region. They should be able to come back comfortably for 2. So you had to complete my thought. When someone hits a 6 like that, that ought to speak a lot of confidence. Slightly short into the offside, tries to slash it or cut it into the point region. No connection made. A dot delivery in the end. We have a comment on Facebook, Julian, from Naeem telling that Harshad is the name of the bowler, not Hamza. Perhaps an error from the scorer at the Cricket Club's app, which we are reliant upon. As I keep reminding you folks, we are not responsible for the ticker at the bottom of the screen. And I have just been told, in fact, it is Harshad, not Hamza. So we'll get that corrected eventually. That should complete the over. End of 5th, 31 Badshahz for the loss of 1. Run rate being 6.2. Umar at 13 off of 11, and Zohad at 15 off of 17.
Yes, thanks, Rick. So let's put up the worm. It's not really much of a comparison right now since we don't have the opposition, but we'll put the worm up just so you see some graphics, see the fairly steady scoring. A little bit of a dippy worm, a wavy worm. Looks almost like an exponential sort of graph if you remember your mathematics from back in the day. That was a long time ago for me. I won't tell you exactly how long, but some of you who know me might be able to figure that out. So yes, we're just going to see if we can get our scoring corrected. It may be something we have to update at the end of the match. Our scorers are volunteers. Occasionally don't get the names quite right. Some of these names are not familiar to all the players, and yelling out the names from across the ground, don't quite get it perfect every time, but that is something we'll certainly correct at the end of the match if needed. That brings Azhar to the crease. Just a little tap for a single. Zohad seems to be playing fairly comfortably out there. He's calling for a new bat. Seems like he's done some damage to his bat. May have broken his bat. So, Fielder's just inspecting his bat, and perhaps after seeing that may decide he doesn't want to purchase that particular brand if it breaks that easily. Everything seems set. Azhar to continue. And good delivery for no run. Big slash straight up in the air. Keeper with the gloves calls for it early. That was a very simple keeper's catch. Not a great shot. Looking to play the wrong shot there. Was well wide of the off stump. Looks like he tried to hoik it towards the leg side and completely missed, unfortunately, for Umar, who looked like he was just in the process of starting to get going, but was unable to so just letting you know our replay function didn't quite work at that particular moment, but it was a fairly straightforward catch for all of you watching. Quite an easy catch, in fact. I'll just bring up there we go. Umar Chowdhury caught by the keeper Shubham. Bowled Azhar. Azhar would be happy with a very early wicket. And the batsman did cross while the ball was in the air. So the new batsman to the crease is Mir Ali. He's going to be up at the non-striker's end. Zohad Hussain continuing. He's the opening batsman, looks fairly comfortable out there. Hasn't really had to dominate the strike for the last little bit since prior to the dismissal of his opening partner Ali. Lofted ball, easy flick around the corner. Didn't quite get all of it, but certainly enough to let it roll through the boundary. That was not a good delivery. On leg stump, Zohad is very good off his pads. Picked it up very early. Sometimes the thigh-high full tosses can be a bit difficult in this light, but he was onto it very, very early. Just worked it around the corner effortlessly, and very, very easy.
Lofted ball, easy flick around the corner.
And he's taking advantage of the last few deliveries available in this power play. Badshahz moving on to 36. Again, looking to be around the 40 mark after their first 6 overs. That may help them. Didn't quite time that. Lofted. Good effort out there in the field. Didn't quite get there. Fielder made some decent ground to it. It was an awkward catch. He put in a dive, but wasn't quite able to get there. Limited them to 2. Zohad fairly lucky on that occasion that he didn't quite time it. If he timed it a hair better, he may have been out. Would have needed to time it a lot more to clear the boundary. Finishes with a good delivery. Zohad not able to do too much with it, but able to keep it out. And that brings us to the end of 6 overs. That is the end of the 6-over power play. 38 runs on the board. 2 early wickets down. Again, after 6 overs with the Golden Eagles picking up the 2 early wickets, we'd say things are fairly evenly poised at this moment. Badshahz would be looking to push on at this point. Preferably have these 2 batsmen consolidate, especially Zohad, if he can hang around for the next, hopefully till the death, but at least for the next 10 or 12 overs. He looks like he's in good form with 22 off 21. Merely yet to face a delivery. And so that start the 7th over. Looks like it's going to be Irfan to continue. So Rick, I was just saying 38 runs, 2 wickets down, end of 6. Badshahz perhaps a handful of runs less than they would like to be, and certainly that extra wicket the Golden Eagles picked up. Perhaps not ideal. That one's straight down the leg side. Easy wide call by Sri. Bonus run, bonus ball. Captain will not be happy with that. It was sort of a nothing ball just drifting down the leg side. It was Mirali's first face delivery, although it's not going to count as a legal ball. Wild swipe outside the off stump. We see Mir practicing a little bit better with the practice visualization stroke. In the distance you see our mosquito pest control going around the ground. Better ball, played nicely, just driven down the ground towards mid-on, looking for two, didn't quite time it well enough. Slapped outside the off stump there towards the boundary, didn't quite get all of it, a little bit uppishly. Cleared the gully fielder easily, long run. Perhaps should have pushed for three there. A little bit of back and forth between the batsmen. Settled for two, and a comfortable two at that, but in the short format of the match, of the game, where only 20 overs, you really want to press for every one run possible. Wide stray delivery down the leg side. Zohad, again, who's fairly good off his pads off the legs. A little bit disappointed that he didn't get any bat onto that. Fairly clear down in the third man. There's a short third man, but there's no one in deep third man. If he'd got onto that, would have been good, and that's exactly what it did on this occasion, to the same area that he was looking to hit it before, and that one's run all the way to the boundary for four. So Irfan just straying all over the place, not quite finding his location. That was an easy shot for Zohad, who's moving along to 28 off 23. He's looking very, very comfortable out there. Expensive over so far, 10 runs coming off it, still with 2 balls to go. Irfan just wiping the glasses, hoping that might help him locate the point of the pitch where he wants to land the ball. And that was a better line, but well played. A little bit too full. Nice looking shot from Zohad, we'll give him credit. That was a good looking shot. An uppish or a lofted cover drive. 2 bounces over the boundary for 4 runs. That brings up the 50 for the Badshahz. I'll be pleased with this over. Zohad moves along to 32, 1 ball remaining. Another one lofted down the leg side. That one may go all the way, and it does. Irfan would not be pleased, his captain would not be pleased. That's 20 runs coming off that over. See the replay here.
Another one
Watched it
lofted
on the back,
down
got
the
under it.
leg side.
Effortless
That one
shot.
may go all the way, and it does.
And there we are, see the over by over. That was a very expensive over. 20 runs coming from that. The best over by far of the Badshahz innings. That puts him in good position right now. 57 after 7 overs. And I'd say Badshahz would be very pleased with that over. What do you reckon, Rick?
Without a doubt. I had a lot of thoughts at the end of the power play, at the end of the 6th over. Them being slightly under par, but they obviously came back and made up for it. What a productive over for them, especially the last shot off the feet. So comfortable, so elegant, such a lazy pull into the fine leg region for all the way. What a shot that was from Zohad. So he's done really well, way beyond the strike rate of 100, joined by Mir at the center, who has just got off the mark. And last over, Azhar comes back for his 2nd from container, and Badshahz has 57 for the loss of 2. Run rate being pretty healthy, slightly above 8. So yeah, from a statistics perspective, the batting teams that have been able to come back and defend it in the power play, they've done 45 for the loss of 1 from my reading perspective. But they were slightly below it, but they made it up for it. This one was just a quick single into the onside. Finally, lights taking full effect at the stadium. It's looking very pretty, very bright. Sun has set and breeze has kicked in, more importantly for us. So hard on a strike against Azhar. Fuller wider off the offside. Wide given from umpire Shuri at the center. Good call. That should not have been playable. Even he extends his arm and goes, tries to get some wood on it, not to be. Azhar continues against Zohad. Right down the middle, just plays it from the front foot into the off, within the circle, takes a quick single, putting Mir on strike. 3 runs thus far in this 8. Beautiful looking shot into the covers, just comes down a track just a little bit off the front feet, times it to perfection, seems to have middled it and goes all the way for a boundary.
Beautiful looking shot into the...
What a good looking shot it was into the covers from Mir, who is relatively new in the center, joining Zohad. Shot of the night for me tonight. Fuller this time times it very well down the ground into the long off region. It's quick on it, just takes a single. Thanks to everyone watching this feed broadcast on Facebook and YouTube. Overthrow, initially played into the cover, doesn't pierce the fielding, gets defended within the circle, but the overthrow causes them to be able to take a single. And that's the name of the game, folks. In this particular format, score, rotate the strike, and steal anything you can.
Overthrow.
Should be the last legal delivery from Azhar to Mir. Loopy flighted delivery, plays it on into the pads, gets lucky at that occasion. Actually a decent delivery. No timing on that whatsoever. Here we go for the replay. Good, easily inside edge into the wickets. Survives, gets lucky. End of the 8. 66 for the loss of 2. It's a quick layover from the worm chart perspective. Only two wickets have come in 2nd and 5th. And last couple of overs have been pretty productive from Badshahz's run rate perspective in terms of boundaries and rotating the strike and taking a single and double. Any possibility that they have been able to do so, they have. A quick look at the batting numbers up at the top. Ali scoring 1 off of 2. Zohad doing very well for his 40 off of 27. Omar Chaudhry for his quick cameo, 13 off of 13. Mir Ali 7 off of 6. Plenty of batting to come for Badshahz, Julian.
Yes, Rick, I think Badshahz will be fairly pleased where they are right now. 66 for 2, and with Zohad looking in good command, we're going to have a change in the bowling. It's going to be Ahmed Qureshi to come on the bowl. Bowling his leg spinners. I was calling for the helmet for the wicket keeper, just to protect his head from any errant deliveries that get through. Just take a moment to thank all our sponsors. This live broadcast coming to you on Facebook Live. The 9 Sports T20 Cup here in Bolingbrook, brought to you by our prime sponsor, 9 Sports. Also, Studio 7 Chicago, Cricket Clubs Live. Ahmed starts with a loopy delivery and just dispatched summarily across the mid-wicket boundary for 6. Good looking shot there. Zohad moves on to 46, so the Badshahz moving on to 72. Welcome to the bowling crease, Ahmed, captain for the Golden Eagles. Be disappointed with that particular delivery. Just trying to locate the ball in the weeds there on the edge, or the jungle on the edge of the cricket ground. There's a fairly big hit. The boundaries here at the send a couple of players to look for it. You're standing there, go look. A couple of fielders looking for the ball. Yes, there's fairly big boundaries here at the Bolingbrook cricket ground. It looks like we have found the ball. Just 2 fielders went looking for that. A lot of other fielders are standing around. Even in the international cricket these days, with some stadiums not allowing spectators in the ground, you see professional cricketers going to look for the ball in the stadium seating area. Some of our gentlemen think they may be a little bit above that. Ahmed to continue. Loopy deliver, better delivery there. Some good flight. Didn't deceive Zohad, but certainly limited his ability to do too much with that. Just a false start by Ahmed. That was a shortish delivery. Plenty of time for Zohad to get on the back foot, work it around. Didn't quite get all of it, but 2 easy runs. Some good running between the wickets. Back for very comfortable 2. And Ahmed so far a little bit expensive, changing tactics here around the wicket. Uppishly on that one, managed to fall safely between the 2 fielders there, one coming in from deep mid-wicket, the other one coming in from long off or long on. So a little bit fortunate there, but it did bring up his 50. Congratulations, Zohad, with a good 50 off 31. And didn't quite get all of that, but safe single in the end to get off strike. Still 1 more ball left in the over. 11 runs coming from it. Badshahz have certainly pushed on here after their power play. Again, they were 38 at the end of their 6 overs. They've put on almost 40 runs since then in just 3 more overs, or just under 3 overs. Primarily due to Zohad, who's in good shape right now. If he goes on with this, he may be looking at a T20 century. I don't want to put the mocker on him, but doing well. Another shortish delivery, just sits up easily. He strikes it well, but straight to the fielder down at deep cover region for an easy single to bring up the end of the over. 12 runs coming from that over. 78 after 9 overs. We'll see the worm here. Bring up the worm, there we go. See the worm uppishly, or progressing up. Again, I mentioned the parabolic graph. It seems to be looking somewhere in that sort of region. I'm not sure what X or what Y is right now. Just update the scoreboard at the ground. The lovely Bolingbrook Stadium ground on a beautiful night. It's become quite a comfortable night. That little breeze has sort of pushed the humidity away. So if you're in the area, what do you reckon, Rick? Tell them to come on down and come say hi to the commentary box. Perhaps bring some coffee. It would be much appreciated.
Yeah, I cannot be happier about the weather. I told you I got here a little early. Super humid. Very thick clouds covering the stadium. But right now, it's gotten super comfortable and we do have a good game on hand. Absolutely. If you're nearby, Thursday evening, towards the end of the weekend, come on down, enjoy. Whether you bring the coffee or not, do come say hi. We welcome you regardless. So 10th over will continue from the container end. Josh Patel, the new bowler, into the attack from Golden Eagles. Badshahz a 78 for the loss of 2. Fuller into the offside. Tries to go for it. No connection made whatsoever. Good start of the over from Josh. Credit to Zohad for his 50, 31, I believe. Yep. Strike 8 beyond 125. That's a good looking pickup shot into the onside. Goes past the circle into the deep mid wicket area. Only take a single, but it looked pretty good. Just to Zohad. Fuller into the feet, into the offside, just digs it out, right pass back to the bowler who doesn't connect, and they steal a single. Yeah, Zohad has looked very comfortable in multiple occasions, different line and lengths. Hasn't really been bothered from any of the bowling changes from Golden Eagles tonight thus far. This one goes down the track into the off. Very well struck. Long off region. They come back for 2 comfortably. Very well run and good cricket all around. 4 runs have come in this. Jesh's first in this 10th against Badshahz. To Mir, picks it up. What a timing. What a timing. Just a really neat pickup shot off the feet on the full. Gets to the pitch of the ball, connects it, sends it sailing all the way into the side screen for a 6. Incredible looking shot. Timing was absolutely supreme on that occasion from Mir. Short into the off, no connection, should have been given as a wide. It is. So very expensive over from Golden Eagles perspective. 10 have come thus far. Badshahz cruising at a run rate of 9 and up. Off the back foot, just defends it into the cover. No run conceded. That should complete the 10th at the halfway innings of this game, folks, tonight. Badshahz at 89 for the loss of 2, cruising at the 8.9 run rate. Game extremely well poised with 2 set batters in from Badshahz thus far in Mir and Zohad, of course. like Haris Afandi comes back into the attack from Golden Eagles from the hill end against what should be Zohad on strike in this 11th. Julian, for again, may not be 100% accurate, but from what I've seen, 65% of the time so far, we're halfway through this 9 Sports T20 League. Teams having won the toss and batting first have prevailed. There's been a few chases, 30 to 40%, but so far, again, we're not too deep into the tournament as yet, but pretty even balance between the defense and the chase thus far. Zohad against, so they make a change at the last minute. Rashid comes into the attack. Initially, Haris was taking the run-up off spinners around the wicket, picks it up, sends it sailing into the long off region, gets caught. Actually, a very good catch, a bit of a fumble, but in the end, ends up taking it. So, Zohad goes for 53. This should be a massive breakthrough from Golden Eagles' perspective. Rashid coming in and picking up a wicket off of his first ball. It wasn't timed to perfection at that occasion. A bit of a bottom toe in the edge involved from Zohad. Otherwise, it would have gone behind the side screen, but finds the fielder who makes no mistake in the end. Badshahz at 89 for the loss of 3 in this 11th over. We believe it's Khurram coming into bat from Badshahz, joining Mir at the center. Very experienced batter, been around the circuit for a few years from different teams here at the Bolingbroke Premier League. Very experienced campaigner in Rashid. A veteran of the game, if you will. Makes the point from the word go in his first delivery in his first over against a set batter in Zohad. Deceives him for the length and gets him to not time it properly and just sends it to the long off fielder. So I believe they did cross. Mir should be on strike. Loopy into the offside, just doesn't really connect. Well played in the end. Didn't really do anything enterprising or chance. Another loopy delivery into the lag, just plays out the feed into the onside, just past the circle. Actually within the circle, gets cut off from Haris Afandi for a 1. I haven't brought in Mir Ali tonight for the welcoming remarks. He's just too tired. He's been at the ground for 3 days, I believe, prepping the square and the turf, as you guys have seen on our page, the videos and photos. Turning out to be an amazing preparation for the minor league cricket in a couple of weeks. So this one down the ground, they come back for 2 comfortably. So yeah, if you guys are looking to sponsor an air mattress for Mir Ali at the stadium, I'm sure he's not going to say no to it. He's here all the time. Fuller into the middle, and this one very well cut off the back foot into the point region. They take a quick single. Last delivery from Rashid in his first. He's gone for 4 and picked up a wicket. A very decent delivery. A good comeback from Golden Eagles at this point, where Badshahz were cruising at the 8.5 run rate. They are at the moment. A massive appeal for the leg before did hit him on the pad. The line may have been issued. The height not for my sight. Yeah, perhaps down the line. Umpire Shri not interested at all. That completes the 11th. Badshahz at 93 for the loss of 3. Mir at 18 off of 15. Khurram, who has just come in, 3 off of 2. Run rate being 8.5 almost. So Julian, as we have discussed time and again so far from what we have seen, the par score being 160 plus minimally here at the 9 Sports T20 League.
Yes, 160, and Badshahz certainly on track for that, if not a little bit more right now. It's travelling on at 8.45 runs per over. You do the math on that, so 169 runs is their potential target at this stage. Although Golden Eagles, after the 2 fairly early wickets, were letting Badshahz get away from them a little bit there, but they picked up the vital wicket of Zohar Hussain just in the previous over. He was certainly the man in form. And Badshahz would be happy to have picked him up, because that may make a big difference to this scorecard with 2, well, Mirali's fairly set, but Khurram is the new batsman on strike. Loopy delivery there, just able to rock back, tap it away for an easy single. It's Khurram to move along to 4 runs off his 3 balls, so he's doing the right thing right now, just keeping the scoreboard ticking over, allowing Mir on strike to continue now that he's the set batsman. The light's starting to take force. Good viewing conditions right now. Shortish delivery outside the leg stump. Turned away. Didn't quite time that, so only a single out there. There's a fielder out there and deepish behind square leg. But just a single. Ahmed continuing. Better over so far from him. Wide-ish delivery outside off stump, but not a wide. And it was a slower delivery, took the pace off it. Khurram swung over the top of that one. Wild swing. That one he's watching a little bit better. The bails came off, not sure what happened there. Not sure if it was just the keeper, as he was turning around to chase the ball, kicked the stumps with his leg. Obviously, there's no screaming and yelling on the field, so there's no indication that Khurram stepped back on his stumps. A bit hard to see from this angle, but that seems to be exactly what happened. Just waiting. Ahmed just being told by his keeper, hang on, let me get my gloves on here, please. It's very hard to stop a hard ball repeatedly without the gloves on your hands. Played a little bit more respectfully there by Khurram. After 2 wild swings, just tapped away defensively for no run, looking to get on the front foot to push that away for a single, unable to on that occasion. Big swipe, big swing, beats everybody. Going to run through for what should be a bye, or perhaps there was an inside edge on that. Just had confirmation from production crew here. It looks like he might have got an under edge on that. He did indeed. It was a big full toss, got an inside edge which dragged it back a little bit and between the keeper's legs. So able to nutmeg the keeper. But a much better over by Ahmed there. Just the 3 runs coming from it. His figures improved to 15 runs off 2 overs. That brings the score to 96 for 3 after 12. Run rates back to 12 runs per over. going to be Rashid to continue, the seasoned veteran. Hurum's on strike. The leg spinner from Badshahz. Another big wild swipe. Not really getting bat on the ball as he should be at the moment. Tapped away, or came off the, looks like his stomach, called a leg bye. Maybe they should change the name of that to something a little bit more appropriate, called a leg bye, regardless of where it comes from the body. Good looking shot, well timed, but the man on the boundary there is the Captain Ahmed. Fielded that, good throw back, limited them from just a single. Again, thanks for all you people out there watching on Facebook Live and YouTube Live channel. Better looking shot. Hurum got all of that one, cleared the boundary quite easily. Fielder could just watch it sail by past, clearly over his head. Big six. Rashid, who was looking very comfortable there with the tidy figures of just 5 runs coming from his over and a bit, now has ballooned out to 11 runs from his over and a half. Good shot from Hurum. Tries to repeat it, and I believe he's been given out stumped, has he? No? Yes, he's been given out. No. There's some appealing on the field. Thought there for a moment that he perhaps was going to walk off, but no, he was just walking away to the square leg region just to adjust his gloves. It was all a big whir and flurry and hurry. Bats flying. Good bit of keeping there. Didn't get the decision, but certainly a good piece of keeping there by Shubham to at least remove the bails and threaten for the stumping. Stumps have been reset. A little bit of excitement. Ultimately a dot ball. Fast delivery. Looks like it came off the thigh pad. Not sure if it got an inside edge. We'll wait for umpire 3's signal. Yes, indeed, just straight off the thigh pad for another leg bye. But a run to the score nonetheless. And a better ball there, merely unable to do too much with that. There's 9 runs coming from the 13th over. Score now 105 for 3 after 13. I'd say Badshahz to be fairly happy with where they're at right now, with still 7 wickets in the shed. They have plenty of batting to come and can probably push for a score at least 170, if maybe 180 if they can really get onto some couple of big overs.
I concur, sir. Rashid having bowled 2 decent over, despite that 6, having picked up a wicket and almost stealing Khurram's nick behind as well. Couple of leg byes in this particular format, coming into the attack, conceding 11 off of the 2, picking up a wicket. Those are some decent numbers. Nonetheless, Badshahz have done well and they're surviving, and they do seem to be, like you just alluded to, Julian, to go on and be able to score minimally 165 and plus. Here's a quick look at the worm chart layover. 3 wickets, 2nd, 6th, and 11th, I believe. Mir and Khurram at the center. Mir has done pretty well for his 20 off of 18. Khurram going at the strike rate of 100. Run a ball. From the word go, he's done really good. That's exactly what Badshahz would be looking to have him do, to go on and anchor this inning from this point on. Flighty, loopy delivery into the leg. Obviously is going to be given as a wide. Ahmed Qureshi should be bowling his 3rd. He's gone for 16 thus far, wicketless from Golden Eagles. Down the leg again. No connection there at all, I believe. Actually, a bit of a word. So they steal a single. Mir should be back on strike against. So on the last delivery, I correct myself. No connection at all. 2 wides, 1 by and 1 extra. Tries to cut it into the covers, no connection made. Better delivery this time from Ahmed Qureshi against Mir. Deceives him completely. Loopy delivery into the offside, just picks it up, comes down the track and sends it sailing into the long on region, into the woods for a massive 6. What an incredible looking shot from Mir. He's done that on a couple of occasions. This time looks to be supremely confident. Sees it, gets underneath it, lifts it and sends it exactly where he wanted to go, and this had to be at least 10 meters beyond the fence. Once again goes down a little bit, similar angles, similar fielding, into the woods again. I hope we can find the ball. This was another cracking 6 from Mir. 2 6s back-to-back consecutive. Ahmed Qureshi being demoralized a little bit from this batting of Mir on this occasion. 2 impressive shots, extremely good looking, confident, timed, and directed well as well on both of those occasions. Changes the end of the bowling. Sends it down the middle, comes down the track. Is this another one? And gets fumbled right at the fence into the long on region. Same fielder, same region, same area. The idea was right, and he survives yet again. This was a bit of a fumble. I believe it might have been a couple of chances. Well, he first gets his hands into it, fumbles it, gets another chance at it, and yet another try and drops. And Khurram goes for a wild heave, getting rubbed off a little bit from his partner at the center. No connection made at the center. Nonetheless, very productive over from Badshahz. This should be the last delivery down the leg. Khurram connects it in to the D behind, backward square leg, and that should be a 4. Wow, what an over from Badshahz. Finishing up at 125 for the loss of 3. Run rate almost touching 9 and over. Turning out to be a pretty good game from Badshahz's perspective, Julian.
Yes, I'd be happy that they've pushed on from where they were. Just see the view from our camera on the sight screen. One on the sight screen. Oh, okay. So very, very expensive over there. 20 runs coming from that over. Got 125 for 3 after 14. They were 38 at their end of their 6 overs, so they've put on 87 runs since then from just 8 overs. So they're certainly pushing along now. If they continue at that run rate. Right now they're looking for 180 runs. If they continue at 11 runs and over for the last 6, they're going to be pushing for 190. Just see Zoat Hussain with 52 of 34. Mir Ali's coming along quite nicely here with 53 of 22, and Khurram with his 15 of 13. He's certainly holding up his end right now. Let's get a view from the sight screen cam. Some swift running, coming back for 2 runs there. A little bit of excitement at the fielder's end, at the batsman's end. And did come back for 2, there we go. See from the reverse angle. Bit of a scramble, a good throw may have had him. As it was, back successfully for 2. Just Getting a good view from our sight screen end over the left shoulder of umpire Sri. And just to let you know, the bowler is indicated as Hamza. We're continuing with that name. The bowler is in fact Badshahz Chowdhury. There was a score error at the start of the game, so with the wrong name chosen. Hamza Arshad versus Badshahz Chowdhury. You can see the confusion. Good delivery there by Arshad. So for the moment we're going to keep it under Hamza's name, which we can correct later on. But just to let you know, the bowler is in fact Badshahz Chowdhury, who has bowled 2.5 overs, 1 wicket for 13 runs. He's been the pick of the bowlers so far. See the reverse angle. Wideish, uppish shot, didn't quite get all that. Oh, and you heard me groan because that looked like, firstly, a fairly easy chance, straight through his hands. The captain's hands, I believe, Ahmed Qureshi at mid-on. And secondly, it looked like it hit him on the shin after it went through his hand, so there was a second reason for a groan. You can imagine the pain of being hit on the shin by a cricket ball. Actually, I have on many occasions, as most of you watching probably have as well. Good looking shot by Mir. Taps it away. There is a fielder out there, deep mid-wicket, able to just restrict him to a single. Mir certainly looking fairly comfortable, moving on to 37 or 25. Not a bad over for a Arshad, especially at this stage of innings, trying to peg Badshahz back. That was actually not a bad delivery, maybe a little bit wide, but well played by Khurram there. He was able just to deliberately squirt it through, sort of uppishly over the gully region towards the boundary. Came close to the running all the way, but the fielder out there managed to peg it back for 2 runs. But nonetheless, fairly good over. Just the 7 runs coming from it. At this stage, it's not so bad. Badshahz moving on to 132 for 3 after 15 overs, so 3/4 of their innings complete. 132 if you want to do the straight arrow math from there. That would bring them to a total of 176, I believe. Yes, 176 as I continue on at this rate at 8.8 runs per over. Now they were hoping to be pushing on even more than that. Plenty of batting to come. These 2 batsmen looking fairly comfortable at the crease now. And I believe this may be... And there's a new bowler coming in. Tapped away for a single there by Mir Ali. This is Haris Effendi continuing. He went for a few runs off his first over, the very first over of the innings. Hoping to rectify that in this occasion. Better delivery, short, fairly big wild swing there by Khurram. He swung underneath it, a little bit of extra bounce there by Haris, and ultimately a dot ball, which at this stage of an innings, any dot ball is a fairly precious event. It's a better looking shot by Khurram, but he did get under it. Didn't really time that one. Fortunate the 2 fielders fairly close to that, but managed to fall in between them. So ultimately a safe single. Harris is coming back here nicely after his first over. Just the 2 singles so far. That was wider. Mir able to pounce on that one. Didn't quite time it, but back for 2. And looking for the overthrow. But an unsuccessful attempt at an overthrow there. Much like a January 6th occasion. Again, thanks to everyone watching out there on Facebook Live. See Hurram just catching his breath there at the non-striker's end. Big wild swing, not a bad delivery, inducing a false shot, but a big edge, and that is the danger of this type of match, type of innings, T20 innings, where there's usually no slip in place. Straight over the keeper, big thick edge, runs away for 4. Really not too much a bowler can do with that. It was actually a good delivery and a false stroke by the batsman, but benefits from the T20 format of the game in this occasion, picking up the 4 runs straight past the keeper. That was actually a better looking shot, but in this case just the 1 run coming from it. So fairly quick over there by Harris. 9 runs coming from it, so Badshahz continuing with their run rate. If they continue on at this run rate, they're certainly looking to hit the 180 mark. All of you out there watching on Facebook Live, feel free to throw your predictions out there on the commentary section. Let's see who gets closest without going over, much in the manner of the Price is Right. And with that, I'll pass it over to Rick.
Yeah, this has been a very disciplined batting from Badshahz tonight, despite a couple of losses from the wickets perspective, but the run rate has been steadily beyond 8. And Mir from them should be on cards to be able to complete his 50, given how well he's timing and how well he's striking. And Hurram, not to take any credit away from him, came in and from the word go, rotated the strike and hit a couple of really good strikes. From the hill end, Harshad to Mir. Loopy into the fuller offside, plays it on the full, just goes deep into the long off region for a 1. This should be Harshad's last. He's gone for 18, picked up a wicket. Hurram back on strike, another fuller widest delivery. Hurram tries to go into the onside, no connection made in the end. Decent delivery at this stage of the game. These are considered death bowling overs. Golden Eagles are trying to come back and restrict them to something that they're able to achieve comfortably here tonight. Chasing perspective, Hurram goes for it a while. Too early in the shot, I believe. Just goes past back to the keeper. Hurram needs to find his stride. Obviously, he's capable of sending it down and hitting a big one, but last couple of occasions, not reading the line and length properly. So here we go, 4th delivery. Fuller this time into the feed. He just digs it out. Doesn't really go anywhere. Bowler collects, and yet another dot delivery. So very productive over from Golden Eagles in this 17 against Badshahz. 2 legal deliveries remain. Fuller into the offside. Hurram yet again tries to take a full heave at it. Goes into the onside. Doesn't connect. Hurram just isn't coming down and meeting the pitch of the ball and trying to play it into the line of the delivery. Plenty of opportunities into the cover from what we see from the fielding's perspective. But he's pretty premeditated at this point in this over particularly. He's done well so far from Badshahz's cause, but I believe the last 4 deliveries slightly damaging his numbers tonight. So Julian, here we go. First prediction to your ask online being 177. That's very fair and very likely as well. Slightly fuller this time into the off, just past the off stump into that corridor of uncertainty. Yet another swing and a miss. That completes the over. Badshahz at 142 for the loss of 3. Run rate coming down slightly to 8.35, given Harshad's last over that conceded 1 run only in that 17th over. So Pretty impressive numbers from the bowling perspective from Golden Eagles' Harshad.
Yes, thanks, Rick. That was a very, very impressive over by Harshad. Pretty much exactly what the Badshahz were looking at right now. Would have been ideal if he'd picked up a wicket. As it was, he didn't, but it was a great over. We'll just have a quick look at the bowling figures. Hamza, it's listed as Hamza. It's actually Harshad Chowdhury, 4 overs, 18 runs, and 1 wicket coming from his 4 overs. So Harshad's been the pick of the bowlers so far, giving up just 4.5 runs per over. Anything under 6 runs and over is pretty good in T20 cricket. We have Harris to continue, just straying onto the pads, able to flick it away. They should be able to come back for a comfortable 2 is Mir Ali, who's looking to come back looking to push on for a 50. A good throw may have had him in trouble there at the striker's end. But again, 2 runs onto the total, 144 for 3. See if there's any other predictions coming in. Oh, we've got a Naeem Khan predicting only 165. He's predicting the Badshahz to get pegged back here by Golden Eagles. Run rate currently showing 168 if they continue on at the exact run rate right now. And full tosses on the pads are certainly not going to help the Golden Eagles' cause. The Badshahz picking up another 3 runs with that. Oh, just 2 runs, I apologise, just 2 runs. But nonetheless, Mir Ali moves on to 50, a well played 50. 50 off 32, picking up where his previous batting partner Zohad left off. He just can't afford to keep bowling onto the pads here. That's a better delivery, and there we see it, just as he reaches the 50. A good catch there at fly slip. Can't quite see who the fielder is. We'll get that for you in just a second. Just returning the ball to the umpire there, but a very good catch down at the fly slip. Thickish edge, a good field position there. Yeah, see it on camera. Good catch there. They made the ground. That was Azair. That was an excellent catch. We'll just bring up I believe that's going to be the new batsman Mujtaba coming to the crease. There we are. Mir Ali out for an even 50. Very good innings off just 33. Caught Azhar, bowled Harris. Harris will be happy with that. And a sharp chance, exactly what the Golden Eagles needed at this moment. So the prediction of 165 may be closer to the mark. Let's bring up the score bar again. Oh, bugger. And so Muji is the new man at the crease, just picks up a single with his first delivery. So let's bring the score bar back up for you folks there. Mild technical error on my part, not pressing the right button at the right time. There we go. We're looking for Khurram to continue. Just tonk that down the ground, didn't really get onto it. Just ambling through for a comfortable single. This has been a decent over by Harris, following up on the very good over by Harshad Chowdhury previously. And a good delivery, wide, big wild swing by Muji. Not able to get any bat onto that, so just 6 runs coming from the over, and the vital wicket of Mir Ali, who was looking very good just after he picked up the 50. And we'll see the worm. Golden Eagles just flattening the worm there in the last couple of overs. There's 7 runs coming from the last 2 overs. See, Khurram's going to be coming off. I'm not sure if he's hurt. He's retired, either retired hurt or retired, one way or the other, but he's not going to be coming back on the ground with just 2 overs remaining. So at the end of 18, have the Badshahz onto 148 for 8. That predicted target of 165 by Naeem. Might be looking good right now. Just one big over though. Still plenty of time. Run rate 8.22, so that's right about the 165 mark. So let's see what happens here, Rick.
Yeah, I do feel Julian Harris had a pretty decent over. He's got one to go. He picked up the set batter in Mir. Went on to score a very classy 50 here tonight at this 9-Sport T20 League game. A couple of his shots were extremely well timed and pleasing on the eyes. Harris picks up his wicket and pegs Badshahz's campaign back just a tad, only conceding 6 in that 18th over. So 2 overs remaining. We do have 2 new batters in the center from Badshahz in Mujtaba and Salman. Both of them are known to be able to hit and strike big. Thus the decision from Badshahz's captain of getting Khurram back into the dugout, off the back foot into the cover just at the circle. Take a quick single, a bit of a slip on the non-striker's end from Salman. Rashid to continue from the hill end against Mujtaba. Goes around the wicket, Fuller into the offside, picks it up down the ground into the long off region, times it so well, it goes all the way for a boundary. Welcome boundary at this stage from Badshahz, given that the contacts is licensed to kill, with these two having just come in. Should be having a go at every single delivery. Here we go again. Fuller into the off, tries to send it down to the ground, doesn't really connect well enough on that occasion. Mujib, that is. Takes a wider cross stance against Rashid. Mujib, that is. Pulls it so powerfully into the onside. Deep mid-wicket region. Goes all the way for a 4. Very well struck, Mujtaba. Very well done. Badshahz cruising along. Still being able to post up a very defendable total. Run rate being about 8.3. Here we go for the replay. Look how early he gets into the position and just times it and pulls it so powerfully. Scorer of the wicket for a 4. Rashid back to Mujib. Very good looking shot on the full, down the ground into the long off region. Take a quick single. Good looking shot. There we go. 10 runs have come off this Rashid's third so far for Badshahz. One more delivery to go. Loopy into the offside. Salman picks it up off the feet, down the ground, and very good fielded. Very good fielding in the end. Right by the side screen, stops it, ends up going past the fence, comes back, picks it up, saves about 2, I believe. That completes the 19. Badshahz at 160 for the loss of 4. Indeed, 12 runs conceded in that 19th from Golden Eagles in that Rashid's third. Let's see who bowls the ultimate over. Looks like it might be Haris Afandi from the container end against Mujtaba, I believe, on strike.
Yes, Rick. So Badshahz right now 160. We think that is our standard par total on this ground. So they got 1 over to improve upon that. Harris with a good over previously, but that one a full toss, big hit by Mujtaba. Didn't quite get onto that. He's going to be struggling. A good throw would have had him. He's not the quickest between wickets, unless he might be the quickest to the dinner table, but he's not the quickest between wickets. And but he did manage to get back for 2. Harris to continue. Another hoik. That one may go. No, there's a fielder out there at long off. They're gonna. There you go. there's all sorts of confusion between the wickets. And someone was trying to come back for two. Mujtaba was not having any of that. Just comfortably down at the non-striker's end. Salman was caught mid-pitch as the ball travelled past him straight into the keeper's hands. Easily dispatched the... So that's will be 1 run to the total, and then the run out. Salman run out. Wrong batsman. Wrong batsman out. Wrong batsman out.
Please, you have one job.
Go back, correct it. Wrong batsman out.
It was Salman, not Muji.
Salman was out, not Muji.
Wait.
Mick, please go get him to correct it.
हमने म्यूट पे ओ भाई स्कोरिंग कौन कर रहा है यार स्कोरिंग कौन कर रहा है यार
Alright, so there was the 1 run and the run out. It was actually Salman who was run out. Mujtaba's up at the non-striker's end. We'll just get our scorer to correct that. Alright, so scorer is getting the correct batsman out. That brings the new batsman to the crease. Sohaib, I believe. Oh, it is. Sohaib is the new batsman. Sohaib, the right-hand batsman, left-arm bowler. Harris with the shoe blowout there as he's trying to field the ball. There we are. Score has corrected. Sohaib.
Thank you.
That brings Mujtaba on strike. The final 3 balls. The 165 is in. Oh, that could be out. Yes, plumb in front. He took a big step across to the leg side. Just missed completely. His right foot was left hanging right in line with middle stump. Ball hit him about a third of the way up the pad. Would have collected middle stump about halfway up. And that was probably one of the easiest leg before wicket decisions that umpire 3 has ever made. And really no reaction from the batsman. Obviously he knew he was out as soon as he missed it. So a vital wicket there. So the target of 165 is still looking good. They may fall short of their previous target of around 180. They were looking good for 180 back at the end of over 15-16, but credit to the Badshahz for picking up some quick wickets, some good fielding to get the run out, and that brings the new batsman to the crease with just 2 balls remaining. New batsman's going to be just Dani Shabib, goes by Danny.
It's tricking today. Tripping. What's the score?
164. And looking for 2. Sohaib with the slip down at striker's end on his way back to the non-striker's end. Fortunately made it back safely. So 2 runs with 1 ball remaining in the over. This has been a good over at the death here by Harris. So far just the 6 runs coming off it. Anytime you can give up 6 runs or in the final over, you're doing pretty well. Final ball. Big swing. Miss. No run. Good effort there by Badshahz in the end to pick up 166 for 6 off their 20 overs. But again, a good effort by the Golden Eagles to peg him back from what could have been a target in the region of 180. So Badshahz scoring right around the par, slightly over par mark for the ground, 166. That's certainly a good total. We've seen totals less than 166 defended. So this all sets up for what should be an exciting run chase here coming up here in about 10 minutes. So thank you all for looking at or watching our Facebook live broadcast. Please join us again in about 10 minutes for the second half of this beautiful match from the wonderful Bolingbrook Stadium. We'll catch up with you in about 10 minutes. Well, welcome back, everybody, to the broadcast of the Golden Eagles versus Badshahz 9 Sports T20 match, coming to you from the beautiful Bolingbrook Stadium here on this lovely Thursday night. Turned into a beautiful Thursday night. Earlier in the day looked a bit tenuous as to whether we may get a match in. I was calling for rain in the forecast, but as it turned out, forecast has certainly improved somewhat, and the night is good night for cricket. We see the Badshahz batted first, 166 for 6 at the end of their 20 overs. At one point, we're looking to perhaps aim for 180 or so, but a little bit restricted in the final few overs by the Golden Eagles. But nonetheless, setting a pretty good target. 166 is the total, 167 to win. See the Badshahz dominated by Zohad Hussain with 52 of 34, well supported by Mir Ali, 50 of 33. Hurram with 20 of 24 before he retired hurt. And a couple others, Umar Chowdhury, Mujtaba chipping in with some quick runs there. Bringing up the total 166. We'll see the bowling figures come up here for the Golden Eagles. Probably the two best bowlers there. It's listed as Hamza Arshad. It should actually be Harshad Chowdhury. We'll correct that at the end of the match. But it was Harshad Chowdhury bowling 4 overs, 18 runs just for the 1 wicket. Excellent economy of 4.5 runs per over. We have Haris Effendi, who got off to an expensive start but managed to peg it back, bowling in the death, picked up 2 wickets, 30 runs, an economy of 7.5. And we see the other bowling figures there. Rashid with 1 wicket, 23 in his 3 overs. And Azhar, quick mention to Azhar there, 16 runs of his 2 and also a wicket. So we'll just have a quick look at the worm. Hear the tractor in the distance blowing some mosquito repellent around the ground. See the batting worm for the first overs by the Badshahz there. You can see it sort of fluctuates a bit. They started to accelerate, getting pegged back by the Badshahz and flattening out at the end because the Golden Eagles are able to pin them down in the final 4 overs. So we're just about to start here. See just a little bit of warm up there. They should not be practicing on the pitch. They cannot practice on the pitch. That's gets them a beating. So we have the Badshahz just getting themselves into position. It looks like it's going to be Sohaib. Sohaib will be the bowler. His left arm usually comes left arm over the wicket. He's the brother of Ali Chowdhury, who's the captain. 2 batsmen will be Ahmed Qureshi and Shubham, the wicket keeper. Fairly typical for a Chicago summer night. The mosquitoes are out in force. They usually die down a little bit later in the evening. So if you are in the area, it is good night. Bring some mosquito repellent, but otherwise good night. Very comfortable temperature. The humidity has definitely started to settle. A little bit sweaty and muggy earlier on the day, that with the lifting of the cloud cover. Still some clouds overhead, but not as dense as it was. The humidity has reduced. We're going to have Sohaib coming on, Ahmed Qureshi, the captain, to face the first delivery of the run chase. And here we go. Starts with a wide, called wide for wide for width as opposed to wide for height. Was called, I believe, one. It was a decent height bouncer, so has been signalled as one bouncer for the over. So from a bouncer perspective, that's a wasted bouncer. Sharpish delivery, well played by Ahmed, safely fended over the gully region for a single to get himself off the mark and get the run chase underway. Off the bat, that is. 2 runs on the board, first run coming from a wide. See Shubham, the keeper, is taking guard. Have 1 slip in place. Under power play restrictions, just 2 players allowed outside the 30-yard circle. We have someone down at deep third man, and we have another player at long off. Everyone else is inside the 30-yard circle. Good delivery, cramping Shubham for some room there. He actually did a fairly good job of getting some bat on it and just guiding it through to the man standing at gully, would be Rizwan. So both batsmen now off the mark. If anyone is coming down to the ground tonight, please bring some mosquito repellent, because bring it to the commentary box. Our can of mosquito spray has gone missing. I could use some right about now. Soib to continue. Another sharpish delivery coming at across the right hand batsman. There's a fairly sharp angle there. Actually well fended down to the gully, to the man in gully, Rizwan, for an easy single, but it was well played. Soib can generate some sharp bounce, also fairly good pace. He tends to bowl wide of the crease. You'll see his run up, he has a action in the delivery stride that leaps away from the stumps. So by the time he delivers the ball, it is coming in at an angle to the right hand batsman. Does make him difficult for any LBW decisions on his part. And that may be called a wide down the leg side, and it was. Straying down the leg side, umpire Sri Gajaluri calls a wide. There should be 1 run additional to that. That will be another wide, very wayward wide. Apologies for the momentary loss in commentary. We did get the scoring updated. That should bring us to the end of the over now. A few wides in there, some singles, 9 runs coming from the over, including 4 of them wides. So the Golden Eagles are off to an appropriate run rate to their chase, but just 1 over in the books. 9 runs on the board for no wickets. So Rick, what do you think? We're in for a pretty good run chase here?
I think so. In fact, I hope so. I'm always down for a competitive game, a close game, an entertaining game for the people that are watching, that are here at the ground. Should get some ROI from their time. Golden Eagles having started pretty well. 9 from the first. Sohaib seemingly having gone down a bit wayward for the couple of wide deliveries. Looks like from Badshahz, Salman coming into the attack from the hill end. Mind you folks, Golden Eagles needing 158 off the 19, required run rate being 8.3. Yep, that's Salman donning Fahad's jersey, so don't let the name on the back of the jersey fool you guys. Happens quite often. Slip in place. Right on the money from the word go. Just past the off stumps. Slightly short on that occasion. Good start from Salman. Fuller into the offside. Big shot. Picks it up. Square of the wicket. Goes deep. Umarbhai cuts it off. Sends it back. While I believe they come back for 2. Plenty of chatter in the middle from Badshahz from the word go. And why not? They want to be able to defend this. We'll be looking to make some early inroads and picking up a scalp or 2 within this power play. Here we go. Right, almost a Yorker length. Does pretty well. Cuts it into the fine leg region and take a single. Absolutely. Super stoked about being able to host 7 games from the minor league USA Cricket. Starting at the end of the month. Tries to cut it into the offside, no connection. Pretty good delivery from Salman on that occasion. Ahmed being the better from Golden Eagles. Yeah, Julian, hosting international status matches at the turf is not an easy task. Lots of work goes into it. Massive appeal for the leg before. Umpire Shri completely uninterested. Might have gone down the leg. Pitching outside the leg. Good appeal nonetheless. Good delivery. Last delivery of the over, right down the middle, just taps it into the onside, takes a quick single, should be back on strike. Starting the 3rd over, so Golden Eagles 13 for the loss of none, run rate being 6, required run rate being 8.5.
Yes, so good over that from Salman, just the 4 runs coming from it. It's exactly what Badshahz would like from their opening bowlers. Again, this is the power play overs Golden Eagles be looking to pick up some quick runs during these first 6 overs while there are only 2 players allowed outside a 30-yard circle. Ahmed certainly been in good form lately, both in our weekend league as well as the night matches. If he gets his eye in, he's certainly quite capable of picking up some quick runs. Sohaib bowled a decent first over from a pace standpoint. Was a little bit off with his direction, giving up some wides, but when he got it right, he made it difficult for the batsman to play. Sohaib to continue, just bailing out of his run there. I believe he may have lost his glasses. Bowling without his glasses on this occasion. That may not assist his ability to locate the ball. A fairly sedate start by the Golden Eagles, but no wicket down, that's important. Sharpish delivery, but that's going to be called a wide. Wide down the leg side. And it looks like the umpire, square leg umpire, is indicating a bouncer. There's some commotion going on. It looked like it was a fair call of just a wide, and then considered, because of the bouncer height, called a wide for width and a height for bouncer. So a bit of commotion, but ultimately the right decision for a wide. I'm not sure what all the commotion was about. Again, a good understanding of the rules helps make these decisions. That was a good delivery by Sohaib, coming in a sharp angle, right-hand batsman, unable to get much freedom of his arms. It was cramped for room. Cramped for style as well. To quote Lux Interior, I'm cramped. Most of you probably won't get that reference. But here's Sohaib to continue. Another wide delivery down the leg side. Easy call for umpire Sri. And Sohaib looks like he's going to come around the wicket, left arm around the wicket to the right-hand batsman in an attempt to get back on radar again. But still straying down the leg side, giving it up another wide. His brother, team captain Ali Chowdhury, will not be happy with that. He's actually come over to give him a little bit of a pep talk and tell him that don't bowl down leg side, bowl down the offside. But he probably knows that by now. He's just not able to execute at this moment. Just perhaps a little bit rusty. The Badshahz have had 2 matches rained out recently. They need to be rescheduled, so this is only their 4th match of the tournament. Just able to guide that one away for a single. Fairly easily played. It's going to bring Shubham on strike. So we've had 2 legal deliveries this over. 4 runs coming off the over so far. So Sohaib's going to go back over the wicket to the right-hand batsman Shubham. Big swipe by Shubham, doesn't really get onto it. Only went as far as the man at mid-on. Took a shy at the stumps. Direct hit may have had him in trouble. As it was, managed to scramble through for the single. Brings Ahmed Qureshi back on strike, the team captain. A floaty delivery, never a chance of LBW as indicated in the previous over. Soeb does bowl very, very wide of the crease, coming with the angle across the right-hand batsman. Unless he's bowling Yorker length, it's always going to pitch outside the leg stump. He'll never have the opportunity to pick up a leg before wicket if he's pitching it in that area. His best bet is to angle it across the batsman and tempt him into an edge through to the keeper or to the slip. He's not really bowling to his field right now, but I don't think that's deliberate. I think that's just not finding his radar. That was another short one, but slower down the leg side. Shubham able to turn on it. Doesn't quite get all of it. It runs towards the boundary. Pulls up about 5 or 6 yards inside the boundary. Fielded there. Returned to the keeper's end for just 2 runs. Alright, so this is coming to the end of the 3rd over. Another expensive over, mainly due to the wides. 8 runs coming from it so far. And that was a slower delivery. Missed the leg stump, but in front of the batsman, Shubham was dragged himself across to the leg side to have a swipe at that and lifted his head and missed it completely. Fortunate to get away with a dot ball on that occasion, but was deceived by the slower ball was Shubham. So at the end of the 3rd over, 21 runs on the board. No wickets down, most importantly for the Golden Eagles. Let's just bring up the comparison worm chart. Obviously it's still very early in the run chase. There we are. Things fairly even right about now. Golden Eagles coming along at 7 runs per over. And I believe it is going to be... Oh, it's going to be a change of bowler, it appears.
Yep. Still Salman back into the attack. Golden Eagles 21 for the loss of none. Run rate being 7. Ahmed Qureshi 6 off of 10. Shubham 8 off of 8, needing 146 from the 17. I believe pretty decent foundation at this moment from the chase perspective. Badshahz looking to make inroads within this power play. Salman from the hill end to Ahmed on strike. Fuller into the outside, takes a swipe at it, doesn't connect. Decent start of the over from Salman. So from the points table perspective, Julian, I'm sure you know this, Golden Eagles sitting at 4, Badshahz at 8. Granted, plenty of games to go. Good delivery. Just plays on the back foot into the cover, take a quick single and overthrow. Should allow them to come back for 2, and they do. Actually 3, make it even better. Good running in the center from these two and between Shubham and Ahmed. Stealing 2 runs off the overthrow. Shubham on a strike against Salman. Two slips in place between Mir and Ali, the skipper. Fuller into the off. Swats it back, pass to the keeper within the track alignment. That should be a dot ball. Medium pacer, requiring 2 slips. Bit of an unorthodox move. Let's see what happens here. Down the middle, just swipes it into the middle. Doesn't middle it. A massive appeal for the run out on the non-strikers end. Umpire on that occasion completely uninterested. So single. Yeah, the bowler really has to align to the fielding when you have the slips. You cannot be going down the leg. Granted, it may have been a mistake, but I'm not seeing an intent. So slips are not going to do you any good unless the bowler is going to send it down and it's got to come across and go into the offside. That line, that is exactly what it should have been trying. This one driven down the ground. Khurram does pretty well. Cuts it for one. Salman having gone for 4 in his second pretty decent performance thus far from his bowling numbers tonight from Badshahz against Golden Eagles. That's the beauty of this format. Even if they continue to go at 5.5 or 6 or 6.5 and let the required run rate mount to be 8, 9, 10 in the last 7, if they haven't lost many wickets, they will be able to come back into the game. This one well struck off the feed and gets dropped from Umar right past the circle. A lot more elevation than distance on that occasion. Yep, bit of a leading edge, I believe, on that occasion. The intent was right, but not the timing and the distance, and could have been caught. Umar, having done pretty well, went for it. Doesn't really get underneath it and drops it. So that should have completed the over. 28 for no loss. Golden Eagles at the end of the 4th over. Julian, let's make this a very tight game.
Well, that's beyond our control. If we had the ability to do that, we may be able to pick up a few wins at the horse track as well. But yes, Umar dropping that one, you really can't afford to drop catches like that. He was under there, he never looked comfortable, looks like he slipped a little bit, maybe lost in the lights, but ultimately he was in position and he should have caught that one. So Shubham getting a life on that occasion. But that does bring us to the end of 4 overs, 28 runs on the board, moving along at a run rate of 7 runs per over. This brings to the bowling crease change of bowler Mir Ali. He's going to be coming on bowling to Ahmed Qureshi, team captain. So Golden Eagles are in steady position right now. Again, without the loss of wicket. We did speak too soon, almost gave one away there. And again, straying down the leg side. They've been giving up a lot of wides down the leg side. And the camera angle is a little bit deceiving. It does show the pitch sloping a tad from left to right of your screen, but that is not the case. The camera angle is just slightly off square. Nonetheless, a pretty good view. We can certainly tell who the umpire is with 3 emblazoned across his back. That's a better looking shot, played through the line of the ball. Didn't quite time it, but taps it away. Easy single out to the man at mid-off. Brings Shubham on strike. Both these batsmen have been doing okay. Neither have really got going just yet. Both of them 11 runs, moving along at around the 100 or thereabouts run rate per 100 balls. Big swipe across the line. That one not a bad line. Would have taken middle stump had he missed it, or taken his pad. But a big swipe, easy single in the end. And Badshahz would be fairly happy with this, knowing the total they have on the board. A little bit of outswing away from the right-handed batsman. They're going to come back for 2, put pressure on the fielder. It's Ali fielding the ball. May have given up an overthrow. It was the backup fielder missed the ball, but Zohad was backing up. But Shubham had run past the stumps at the strikers at the non-strikers end, and not able to turn in time to come back for the 3rd run. let's put it out there to people out watching on Facebook Live. We know the target, 167, so the question is, will they get it? Yes or no? Who will win this match? At this stage, 5 overs in, or almost 5 overs into the run chase. And we see Mir getting a little bit of outswing. Actually, ended up being a fairly good ball there. Well played by Ahmed to keep it out. He's getting a little bit of out drift away from the right-hand batsman. Good ball that. But yes, who will win this match? It's a fairly simple question. Golden Eagles or the Badshahz? Badshahz with a Z. Or a Z for those of you who are watching English.
The miles versus kilometer, the centimeter versus inches, and meters versus yards.
That's right. We have a whole metric versus imperial system going on here. Well, debate. Good thing we're not broadcasting on the gram. That might throw everybody off. Another quick single there to end the over. No, it's the one ball to go. There was a wide to start. Just sort of chopped away, much like he was swinging an axe. Actually, I was correct. That is the end of the over. So 35 runs on the board, still moving along, 7 runs and over. Fairly interesting poised, Rick. I think we have a run chase on here. Well, that's sort of a superfluous question, but let's see what everybody else thinks out there in Facebook land.
Absolutely. Here's a quick look at the worm chart. From run rate perspective, it seems to be on par. Flat head to head. Obviously, Golden Eagles haven't lost a wicket, and neither did Badshahz in their batting campaign from a cluster perspective. But in second, they lost 1, in 6 and 11, and then in the last 2 consecutive wickets. So yes, from the comparison perspective, Julian, within the power play, 38 for the loss of 2 is where Badshahz found themselves to be. Yep, and so Golden Eagles up ahead in their campaign tonight thus far, with the fact that they haven't lost a wicket and they still have 1 over to go for with the fielding restrictions, and they should be looking to make the most out of it, going and playing beyond the circle, further into the off, just picks it up, goes straight down the ground past the circle, take a quick single. Salman, that is, from Badshahz, who is bowling his third, who's done fairly well, has gone for 12, I believe, thus far. Yeah, Julian, the least you can do is just make the batsman play, right? Don't send down any extras in this format. Wow, powerfully driven from the back foot into the onside. Just gets
to beat you, let them own it.
Exactly. So another single taken into the mid-on region, just within the circle, fielded well from Umar. Down the leg, appeal for the leg before, it was gonna go down the leg anyways. Parshri completely uninterested at it. Ought to have been well bowled in the end. Deceives him for the slower delivery, I believe, doesn't connect. He was gonna go for the full hoik or a pull into the onside. Salman to continue. Down the leg again. This one very well batted. Pulls it, swivels it into the fine leg region. Gets cut off right within the boundary, maybe 10 to 15 feet. They do come back for 2 comfortably. So here we go for the replay. Played late, but actually scoops it up very comfortably and does it pretty well. Down the leg again, plays on the full, just scoops it from the feed into the onside. Just kind of dies past the circle. Suhaib, being the fielder, does it well. Fetches it, sends it back pretty quickly, restricting them to a 2. So decent stuff from Golden Eagles thus far. They have been consistently and regularly rotating the strike. They're sitting at 7 being their run rate. Should be the last delivery from Salman. Right down the middle, just scoops it up, doesn't middle it. Lot of elevation and gets caught by Omer just past the circle. Very well caught. Very good judged catch. And Badshahz finally draw the first blood into their chase campaign, the defend campaign rather. And yeah, Omer gets underneath it, does pretty well. Mind you, those elevated strikes under the lights get a little bit of troublesome because you do have a glare and you do get blinded at times. So at the end of the power play, Golden Eagles 41 for the loss of 1, needing about 9 and over from here on out, Julian.
Yes, thanks, Rick. So that's the end of the power play. I'll just see the figures there. Shubham out for 18 of 18, even strike rate of 100. Caught Umar Chowdhury, redemption from the previous over where he dropped him. Unfortunately, he didn't get away from them. I just picked up a few additional runs after that. So Salman will be happy with his bowling figures. There's Salman's figures, 3 overs. 17 runs, 1 wicket, good economy of under 6, especially in the power play overs. That's a pretty good start. So the new batsman comes in, is going to be Rashid Afzal. He is going to be the batsman on strike. The batsman did cross.
Whoa, watch it, man, please.
Batsman did cross. So the out batsman was up at the non-striker's end, that being the end of the over. The new batsman comes in to the non-striker's end, which becomes the striker's end with the start of the new over. So that's why Rashid is on strike. So it's going to be Rashid on strike. There we are. Good delivery from Mir Ali. Dot ball faced by Rashid. Just getting warmed up. He's got the black and grey on with the red, bright red shoes. They do look a little bit of out of place, but nonetheless, nothing like a little burst of brightness in one's life. Rashid is a very experienced, seasoned batsman. Another good delivery. Again, just a little bit of gentle outswing. He's pitching on a good line, not allowing much room for the batsman. With the outswing, he is aiming in towards off stump. The gentle outswing takes it away from the right-hand batsman. And so far, doing very well. 2 dot balls and just pulls out of his run up there. The mosquitoes seem to have done their job and seem to be going away for the rest of the evening to live the rest of their very short lifespan. Another good dot ball there by Mir Ali. Golden Eagles were just ever so slightly ahead at the end of their 6 overs. 1 for 41 compared to 38 for 2 for the Badshahz. Good looking shot. Just slapped away. There's probably going to come back for an easy 2 there, and they will. Well fielded by Salman, straight to the keeper, who totally misread that. Should have had that, but well backed up. So 2 runs to the score, 43 for 1. Now, most importantly, the bats. Oh, we've got a run short. That is sort of schoolboy cricket, 101. Always ground your bat behind the line, and that appears to have been the very seasoned batsman, Rashid, trying to cut corners. little bit frustrated there, but called a wide. No complaints from Mira Lee. It was a wide-ish delivery, just crossing the threshold of what's acceptable. Called a wide by umpire 3. Again, short run. When you're in a tight run chase, you can't afford to give any run, whether it's a wide or whether it's a short run. No one should be giving up those things if at all avoidable. And a short run is certainly something that can be avoided. Better looking shot by Rashid. Chips it over. 9-9 type of approach towards the green. Over the mid-wicket, the cover region for 2 runs. Baseball games going on in the background there, some good camera work. Soeb with the man bun. Oh, it goes by Sobi. There are quite a few Sohebs and Shoaibs in the league, so he's decided to call himself Sobi. Better looking shot. Oh, awkwardly, it was an awkward bounce for the fielder, give him credit. He tried to come in, perhaps take the catch. Yorked himself as a fielder. Looked like it might have clipped him on the leg. And signalled for 4. Brings us to the end of the over. Golden Eagles cruising along at exactly 7 runs per over, 49 for 1 after 7. Let's do the comparison chart here with the worm. Let's bring up the worm here. Should be fairly even to this point. Golden Eagles was slightly ahead at the end of 6. Most importantly, the Badshahz during overs 7 through 14, 15 really started to get going. They were cruising along at about 10, 11 runs and over for about 6 or 7 overs there immediately after the power play. That's where they tended to get ahead. So the Golden Eagles, that was the Badshahz. That's where they got scoring in the middle overs. The Golden Eagles should be hoping to match that, if at all possible, during the next 5 or 6 overs. Could be won or lost during these next overs. It's going to bring Khurram Shehzad on strike. To the bowling crease. Going to be Ahmed Qureshi on strike. He's on 15 off 18 right now. Hasn't really got going. He's been starved of the strike a little bit lately. But he's still there, most importantly. Swatted away. There is a man in the deep at long off. Just restricts him to a single. 5 fielders allowed outside the 30-yard circle right now. We have a long off, a long on. We have a man standing deep at cow corner. We have a man coming out to deep square leg. And that seems to be the only fielders they have out deep right now. They still have 5 men fielding in the ring. And good field position there, straight to the man that just positioned out at deep mid-wicket. Picks up another single. That does bring up 50 runs are up on the board for the Golden Eagles. That'll most likely be called a wide. Yes, it is. Umpire 3 had a little bit of thought about it. Wry smile on the face of Khurram. He knew it was going to be a wide from the get-go. No complaints from him. Just strays on the leg side, but again the man well placed down at deep square leg. Straight to him, one bounce, easily fielded, straight back to the keeper. Only able to come through for a single. Badshahz will be happy just giving up singles right now. Attempted bigger hit. There's a man in the deep at cow corner. They might be pushing for 2. Yeah, looks like they had enough room for 2. The pressure of the running. Fielder just fumbled the ball ever so slightly, just enough for the batsman to have no problem getting back for 2. Wide delivery, swatted out straight to the fielder for no run. And a rather precious dot ball. Haven't seen too many of those lately. She tries to get onto that one, doesn't quite time it. Good looking shot, good throw back to the keeper there from Zobi, I believe, and that brings us to the end of the over. That is 7 runs coming from that over. Again, keeping up with their established run rate of 7 runs per over, the Golden Eagles. The required run rate just creeping up over the 9 mark, but still plenty of time, and most importantly, 9 wickets still in hand for the remaining 12 overs. So plenty of batting to come, Rick. They're laying a decent foundation here.
Absolutely. I see a bit of a strategy, and I see the intent. They look to be able to chase this down, and in the center they have someone who has hit plenty in Rashid. Here we go, folks. A quick look at the layover from the worm chart perspective. It swipes away before I'm able to speak of it. Here we go, over by over chart. Couple of big overs from Badshahz in 7, then 14, and 19 was a pretty decent one as well. But at the moment, Golden Eagles pretty steady at the moment. And when you have a lot of wickets in hand, Julian, you could afford to let the required run rate climb up a little bit, because this is the T20 format. 11 and over in last 6, doable. Rashid goes for it, doesn't middle it, goes into the offside. Sohaib, being the full fielder behind the circle, does pretty well. 1 run concedes. Mir to continue from container end to Ahmed on strike, right down the leg, just swivels into the leg and gets caught within the circle, top edge. Badshahz pick up the 2nd wicket in their bowling innings, and this is really good from them. The line of the delivery did allow the batter to go into the onside, but instead of middling it, it ends up being the leading edge. It scoops it up, and I don't think the fielder had to move a whole lot. Ahmed Qureshi being the batter, that is gone. He's done 17 off of 21. Mir Ali being the bowler and Ali Chaudhry being the catcher. Julian, these are the temperatures I want for every single game throughout the season. Am I asking for too much?
Well, yes, you're probably asking too much because we're dealing with Chicago area weather. The temperature's fine. I can deal with a little fluctuation in the weather. It's really the rain. I just want to go away forever. At least rain in the morning and then stay dry until the next morning. We'd be good for our games on the weekdays.
Yeah, what really bugs me the most is the humidity after the rain. It just completely dies down. It suffocates you. No breeze, nothing. Here we go. The game goes on. 9th over in the proceedings. Fuller into the offside. Rashid takes a stab at it. Doesn't connect. Very good delivery in the end. Decent over thus far from Mir. He's only gone for 16, having picked up a wicket. Very economical numbers thus far. What a delivery. Slightly past the off stumps. Fuller. Rashid goes for it, doesn't connect. Mir makes him think twice about the line of the delivery. So shout out to my friend from Windy City, Ali Aga, for watching and sending me some comments and messages. right in the middle. Digs it from the feet, sends it down the ground. Khurram fields it, no run concedes. Very decent over continues from Mir in his third from his spell. Badshahz definitely pegged them back a little bit in the last couple of overs with 2 wickets. Down the leg, picks it up from the feet into wider fine leg region. Come back comfortably for 2. That should complete the over. Mir Ali having done fairly well in his third, having conceded 18, picking up a wicket. Golden Eagles 59 for the loss of 2. Run rate being 6.5. Required run rate climbing up to be almost 10 and over at this stage. Julian?
Yes, Rick. So we see the Badshahz doing a good job of pegging back the Golden Eagles. Again, the Golden Eagles slightly ahead at the end of the 6-over power play point, but it was overs 7 through 14 where the Badshahz really accelerated their scoring. A couple of big overs in there, and the Golden Eagles so far not matching that. So the comparative worms, just orange worm of the Golden Eagles, just falling away below that of the Badshahz. Still plenty of time left, and most importantly, still plenty of batting to come, but we do have one new batsman at the crease. And I'll just bring back the score bar here. There we go. And it's going to be Khurram to continue with his leg spin coming from the hill end of the ground. Jash Patel on strike to face his first delivery. Just carves that away elegantly towards the point region for a single. Bad way to get yourself off the mark. Confident. Seasoned veteran. We keep using the word seasoned, probably because of the salt and pepper beard. That is whitish, perhaps not wide. Yes, it was tempting there for 3. He's had a good thought about it. Thought it was just a little bit too wide. Rashid was not tempted to play a shot at it, so free run. Slapped up in the air, high. Khurram calling for it, doesn't quite get there. It would have been a really good effort if he had managed to get a hand onto that one. He's running backwards, with the ball tailing away from him. He was looking right into the lights to get there, so not a bad effort overall. Certainly successful in inducing a false stroke from the batsman. I'll see the replay over here real quick. Khurram coming in again. Jash plays out again nicely, out through point. They should just come through for a single. Just a slight misfield there by the fielder Mir Ali. But yes, Khurram inducing the false stroke from Rashid, who was lucky not to get caught. Let's see what he does this time. Just drifts into the pads. Rashid whips that away, only as far as the man at square leg for a single. See the crowd out and about here on a beautiful Thursday night. We've got the baseball crowd out behind us. I believe that's the Bolingbroke Rampage game going on. Straight to the fielder for no run. I haven't seen too many predictions come in of who. Oh, here we've got a prediction here, 55 to 45% with Badshahz in front. That's the official. We'll call that the official victory ticker right now. Good over there from Khurram. Just 5 runs coming from it, including the one wide. He's got 12 runs off his 2 overs now. Golden Eagles 64 for 2 after 10 overs. They probably are falling behind here, still needing 103 to win off the final 10 overs.
As whispered into my ears from my good friend Amir Wasim, this is going to be a tight game as it ought to be. That's exactly what we're hoping for. Both strong teams having done quite well, the game well poised, and Golden Eagles continue their campaign for this chase. A quick look at the bowling figures up at the top. Merely standout for his 3, conceding 18, picking up a wicket. He's coming back to finish up his spell. This should be his 4th. Good change from Badshahz skipper at the moment, halfway through the innings. Rashid on strike, comes down a track a little bit. Fuller offside delivery, just drills it down. For a 1, Khurram being the fielder. Jash should be on strike. In this over that is proceeding from the container end. Required run rate almost at 10.5, 10.4 rather. Very good delivery. Swings back, comes in a little bit into the middle stump. Well played as well from Jash on that occasion. Just taps it down for a 1. Rashid back on strike against Mir. Fuller into the middle. He just pulls it comfortably into the onside. Just past the circle for a quick 1. Julian, I absolutely enjoy the commotion from the dugout. Analysis, predictions, suggestions, recommendations. Makes it super interesting for us to sit here and bring you this game. Because we don't know everything. Here we go. 4th delivery, Fuller into the offside. Off the back foot, just plays it, taps it down the ground. Khurram again being the fielder within the circle. They take another single. 4 runs have come so far in Mir's 4th over. His numbers look pretty good at the moment. He's only conceded 22 and picked up a wicket for Badshahz. Rashid back on strike. Down the leg. Hits him in the pad. Obviously going down the leg. The appeal for the leg before should not have been required. Fuller into the middle, picks it up, sends it down into the onside. Very well struck. 1 run only. That completes the 11th. Here we go for the replay, folks. Very well timed, but not piercing the field in the deep on that occasion. So that completes the 11. Julian, I do think, despite whatever format that may be, the bowler being able to speak to the fielders, not overtaking the skipper, does matter because bowler knows what he has in mind, and he ought to be able to control where fielders are.
Yes, and especially if he's a seasoned bowler, well known to the captain. Sometimes the captain will defer to the bowler and the understanding he knows what he's doing. So Merely bowled very well. One wicket, 23 runs coming from his 4 overs. Check the scoreboard, 69 up there. And it's going to be Khurram to continue. He's got the decent figures of just 12 runs coming from his 2 overs as well. It's going to be Rashid on strike. Bit of a sound there, may have just clipped the ground. No response from either bowler or keeper, so obviously no threat of an edge. Do some scoring. Someone do the scoring. What's going on with the scores? And it's the second ball over, just straight to the fielder for another dot ball. There we go. And we'll get our scorer to get there we are. Score's updated. Just slapped away. They should come back for two here. And they do. But there's been some good bowling for these last 5 overs. They've done a pretty good job of restricting the Golden Eagles batters, even though only 2 wickets down. That's the most important thing. Still plenty of time for the run chase, but they don't want to be letting the run rate creep up too much. Once it gets over 12 runs and over, that's 2 runs per ball. Certainly not anything that hasn't been done in the past, but it does make it increasingly difficult. Bowled him. Clean bowled. I think that was more a case of frustration by Rashid. It was a good delivery. Wasn't too much on it. It didn't really spin. A little bit of flight. Maybe deceived the batsman with a lack of pace. He was through the shot faster than when the ball was there. Rashid is out. Clean bowled by Khurram. Let's just bring up his figures here. That is certainly something that the Badshahz would be very happy with right now, to pick up that wicket. We see Rashid out for 21 of 25. Again, another batsman making a start, but not really getting going. Did get pegged back, and I believe that that wicket was more due to frustration on the batsman's part rather than some brilliant bowling. It was good bowling, certainly did the job bowling it on the stumps, but it wasn't a spectacular ball. It was more a case of frustration. But nonetheless, Khurram picks up the wicket. Got a big smile on his face, and why wouldn't he? And be wise for Ali to have him continue his bowling. Probably see out his spell as well, with 14 runs of coming off his 2.5 overs, bowling very well. Golden Eagles getting themselves in a little bit of a hole right now. That's going to be Harshad Chowdhury, the new man coming to the crease. The left-hand bowler is also a left-handed batsman. Nothing sinister about that. That's a Latin joke for anyone out there. Khurram coming round the wicket to the left-hand batsman. And they're bringing a slip in. Mujtaba into slip. Got a man at gully as well. Good delivery, well played by Harshad, just to tap it back to the bowler. Feel the bat on the ball, get a little bit of confidence that way. A little bit over pitched, managed to get to it on the full. Possibly could have been 2 runs in that, but just settled for the single. called the over. I believe the scorers did miss a ball earlier in the over, but we've got that rectified now. That's the end of 12 overs. 72 runs on the board. Their run rate's fallen back. They were moving at 7 runs and over up until about the 7 over mark. After 12, they're now at 72 runs, precisely 6 runs and over. So the Badshahz will be happy with the job they've done. We've seen the worm, the Golden Eagles worm, is falling now well behind that of the Badshahz.
You have to tell them that don't run the cable. I mean, cable के ऊपर मत चलाएं. आ गया आपका कैमरा.
Still 96 runs to get. Or 95 runs to get, I should say. At just under 12 runs and over, it's going to be Mujtaba to come on to bowl. Might have to scramble if it starts pouring rain.
You might have to scramble.
That's what I'm saying. He's tapped away for a single, is Harshad. And at this point, Badshahz will be happy just to give up singles every ball. That's not going to threaten the tally. As you see from the required run rate there, Golden Eagles now need to score at 2 runs per ball to chase down this total. Big swing by Josh. I believe just sort of chopped it down to the keeper. Didn't know exactly where it went, was looking for a run until his partner sent him back and said, "It's right there, dude. Do not run." It's right in the keeper's hands. I believe I heard a dude. I may have just imagined that. It's a better looking shot. Cut away. Uppish cut that's going to run towards the boundary and just dribble over the boundary. Rizwan does the right thing, signals 4 just to reinforce that it did actually touch the boundary. Golden Eagles be happy with that. They haven't hit too many boundaries lately. I think that's the first boundary they've had in a while. We don't have a full-time statistician working for us that we can refer to give us the exact number of deliveries since it's been a boundary. I'll do my best Richie Beno for you, but that's about all we can do. Slapped away for 2. Josh Patel looks like he's going to take it upon himself to see if he can chase down these runs. And I was obviously misjudging the Mosquitoes earlier. I thought they'd settle down for the evening. They've come back in full force just to prove me wrong. Bowled him! Mujtaba with the delivery. Good line length, aiming for the top of off stump, and that's exactly what he hit. Just bent back the off stump, removed the bail. Vital wicket for the Badshahz. Golden Eagles digging themselves further into a hole now. And I would say that the victory ratio is swinging more heavily towards the Badshahz at this stage. Not over yet, still 7 overs to go. Not impossible to chase down these runs, has been done before. I'm sure we'll see it again. Perhaps we'll see it tonight. New batsman coming to the crease is Adnan to join Harshad. Harshad's only been out there for a handful of deliveries. We see Josh out for 10 off 12, just the 1-4. Again, getting a start, but being dismissed before he could really go on with it. Perhaps give him some credit. He was really trying to accelerate the run rate after the Golden Eagles had found themselves behind where they should be after the top order batsman had failed to get going. Final ball of the over, Mujtaba with a decent over to start with. Wideish, tapped away, straight to the fielder. No run. That ends the over. Golden Eagles 79 for 4 after 13 overs. 7 overs to go. Run rate drifting up over 12, heading towards the 13 run per over mark. Rick, the tight run chase may not develop, but there's still time.
Yep, a lot of time, but I do feel Badshahz seem to be in control. They do have a command. They do have a momentum going at this moment, having been able to pick up a couple of wickets in the last couple of overs and pegging them back from the run rate perspective. If you guys remember, from the word go, they were about 7 and over. It has come down to 6, and they have lost 4 in the proceedings. A quick look at the worm chart. From the scoring perspective, slightly under par compared to Badshahz. Difference being a couple of wickets, consecutive in the 12 and the 13. Khurram to continue from the hill end, a very good looking shot, picks it up and sends it down to the long on all the way for a 4. So a good start of the over from Golden Eagles viewpoint against Khurram, who should be completing his spell. He has gone for 19 and picked up a wicket. This is his 4th. Time and again, Julian, when the bowler gets hit for a boundary off the first delivery, there's a bit of being put back on the back foot under pressure. Fuller into the off, plays it very well. On the full, they do come back for 2. So from Badshahz's perspective, Julian, they do have 2 fairly new batters at the center. They can continue to apply pressure and get their way tonight, but let's see what goes down. This is down the leg. Off the feed into the short flying leg region. Keeper goes forward and Muji comes back to back it up. Good work there from Golden Eagles. They pick up a 2. 8 runs have come already and 3 deliveries remain in this Khurram's 4th. Fuller into the offside, picks it up, sends it into the onside, and that goes all the way for a 6. Into the hill. What a good looking shot. Just comes down a track just a little bit, meets the delivery on off the pitch and middles it and sends it sailing into the deep, what would have been the long on region, just barely makes it past the fence into the hill. Maximum nonetheless. What an over this has been from Golden Eagles. Again connects it down the ground and it goes all the way yet again. Very similar region. There's a fielder place right in that, on the fence in that region, into the long on from that batter, and yet he just takes him on and goes and connects and middles it and picks up yet another 6. So Khurram's figures have completely been damaged in his last. This one comes down into the offside and yet another 4. What intent, what disciplined bowling, what timing, and what sighting in the middling of the ball from Harshad on that occasion from Golden Eagles at this stage. They certainly are back into the game from my liking, needing 64 from the remaining 6 and required run rate barely being 10.5. As I pass it back to Julian.
Yes, just when we were talking about the Golden Eagles being being out of the match, Harshad comes in and hits 24 runs off the over. That's the most expensive over of the game, as you see there so far. 24 runs coming. A couple of overs went for 20 in the Badshahz innings. But yes, that particular over has certainly brought the Golden Eagles back into a more balanced par effort. See, that one certainly brought the orange worm heading back towards where it should be versus to where the Badshahz were. So 103 for 4. It's going to be Mujtaba to continue. Tapped away by Adnan. They're going to push for 2. They're going to push for 2. Good running that. Comfortably back for 2 in the end. See Harshad on to 26 off just 9 deliveries. Adnan off the mark there with 2. We may be in for a tight run chase after all. Just drifted down the leg side, turn around the corner. They're going to push for 2 again. Should be very comfortable 2. We see in the space of 1 over, the run rate has come down from 12.5 runs an over down to 10.5 runs per over. So just goes to show that as commentators sitting here making predictions and punditry, we really have no idea. It all happens on the field. One good over can change things. Another good over can cement it one way or the other. So the excitement's back on here at Bolingbrook Stadium. Mujtaba to continue. Adnan just works that away. Should be an easy single. Actually, they probably will push for 2. No, they'll settle for the single. It was a good-looking shot. Adnan starting to find the middle of the bat. That brings the dangerous. It's certainly proven to be dangerous so far. Harshad been harshly treating the previous bowler, Khurram. So let's see what he does here to Mujtaba. So the fielding team are allowed 5 outside the circle. There's been a hint of rain here back at the ground. Just a few mild little drops. A little bit of a collision between batsman and bowler. And wild ping at the stumps, didn't hit. And back for an overthrow. So 2 runs there again. They're picking up the runs needed right now. 7 runs off the first 4 balls of this over. That's exactly what Golden Eagles need to do from here on out if they have a chance of winning this match. Another good looking shot. Just cut away. There is a fielder out there in the deep. Managed to restrict them to a single. Just the final ball remaining of Mujtaba's over. Hasn't done so badly. 15 off his 16 now. Oh no, just restricted him to no run on that occasion. So not a bad over, all things considered. 8 runs coming from it. When the required run rate's over 10 and you only give up 8 runs from the over, you've done your job. So that brings us to the 3/4 way of the run chase. Golden Eagles 111 for 4. In comparison, we'll see the worm. Badshahz were just a little bit ahead, but Badshahz did tend to tail off in the final 4 overs with some good bowling from the Golden Eagles. So we're all poised here for a fairly decent finish to this match.
Yeah, Julian, here's what I love time and again. All of a sudden, the dugout from the Golden Eagles comes alive. Chatter, commotion. Slightly on the back foot, but they do feel these 2 in the center are timing it and seeing it and rotating the strike pretty regularly, regardless of the fact that they need 11 and over. But just last couple of overs, lots of shout outs to the 2 at the center, and they feel that they can chase it down, and that's exactly what I want to see at every game. Harshad having done pretty well, 29 off of 11. Adnan 5 off of 5. 5 overs remain. Golden Eagles needing 56 from the remaining 5. Let's see what skipper Ali Chaudhary from Badshahz put into the attack from the bowling perspective. I believe it is Salman from the hill end, and Harshad should be facing him. Actually, Adnan, beg your pardon. Yep, at the end of the over, the Cricket Club's app delegated responsibility for the batting side is slightly delayed more often than not. Harshad it is again, Salman. Fuller into the offside, tries to go across the line, doesn't connect. Danny, the keeper from Badshahz, collects it pretty well on that occasion. A dot delivery, a very valuable dot delivery. Into the feet, drills it down the ground. Well played, single only on that occasion, being offered 2 Golden Eagles from Badshahz. Required run rate climbing up to be about 11.7 and over. Yeah, we had a bit of a scarcity from the drizzle perspective. Luckily, I think we're out of it. We want to be able to complete this game and bring you the complete broadcast. But as you guys know, when the Mother Nature kicks in and the rain kicks in, we ought to be able to wrap up our equipment. Good land delivery into the offside, just slashes, just pass behind the keeper into the short fine leg region, takes a quick single. So very decent start to this 16th over from Salman, who's only conceded 2 thus far. Very well struck into the onside. Past the circle, come back for 2 comfortably. Both of these teams fighting it out. They do believe they're in it. Badshahz certainly believe they can defend it, and Golden Eagles looking to chase this down at 12 and over. Salman having bowled a very good over. In fact, the entire spell of his has been pretty commendable. Fuller into the middle, very well struck. Into the onside, into the cow corner from that left-hander. A bit of a fumble. I believe they do come back for 2 comfortably. Indeed. 1 delivery remains in this Salman's 4th, who has gone for 23 and picking up a wicket. Short into the off, defends it from the front foot into the short off region. That completes the over, folks. Golden Eagles 117 for the loss of 4, needing about 12 and a half in the remaining 4 overs. Looking a little bit tough, but funnier things have happened in this format, Julian.
Exactly. We just saw a few overs ago a 24-run over. The Golden Eagles will certainly be hoping for another one of those. That was due mainly to Harshad, who's got 34 off 16. So as long as he's in there, they have a chance, it seems. 50 runs precisely needed from 4 overs. As Rick said, 12 and a half per over. The Worm, you should see the Badshahz still about 10 runs ahead on the comparative Worm chart. Let's bring up the scorecard. We're going to have a change of bowler. It is going to be, we'll get confirmation in a second. Again, Salman's figures 23 runs off his 4 overs. That's under 6 per over in a T20 match. Those are excellent figures, and also picked up a vital wicket. Could have had two if one hadn't been dropped. So we have fielders in the deep at the third man, long on, deep cover, deep mid wicket. And this is Sohaib to continue. Sohaib Chowdhury just taps it to the leg side for a single. Batsman always going to run on that at this stage of the match. Sohaib just examining the ball. Shows it to umpire Sri. Sri says yes, continue using that ball. Seems just fine. We have Muhammad Elahi out there. Says he can easily get Harshad out, although he's not at the ground tonight, so he's not going to be much help to the Badshahz team from a distance. As it was, Sohaib was easily able to get Harshad out with a good, well-bowled Yorker. Cleaned him up. Look at that, took out middle stump. The fast bowler, you really can't do much better than that. So that is probably the vital wicket now. Harshad seemed to be getting Golden Eagles back into this match. But Sohaib has cleaned him up. It was a tall order to ask of Harshad. He was certainly up to the task up until that point, but a good delivery. Clean bowled him. Just get his figures up here. See Harshad with the excellent cameo, 34 of 17. Clean bowled by Sohaib Chowdhury. 2 4s and 2 6s, all coming in that one over of Ghuram Shahzad. So that could be the wicket that seals the deal for the Badshahz, but still 22 balls left in this match, 49 runs to get. See the grounds crew just packing up some of the equipment. We are packing up a couple of the cameras early. If you've noticed that we don't have the same camera action we had a few overs ago, there's a threat of rain in the air. We want to make sure that all our equipment is protected as best as possible. So to continue, clean bowled. Comes out first ball. Sohaib's found his radar. He was a bit wayward earlier when he opened the innings, but he's certainly found his radar now. That might be the second nail in the coffin for the Golden Eagles. See, for the first time in the match, Ali Chowdhury has a smile on his face. Will it remain? There's a good possibility it will, but again, stranger things have happened. Just needs someone to really get going, a few big hits, and it could still be on here. But 2 vital wickets, and from Sohaib's perspective as a fast bowler, 2 clean bowled wickets. Certainly going to make him happy. On the hat-trick, let's see if Captain Ali brings in all the fielders around the bat for the hat-trick ball. It is his brother after all who will be bowling.
Time to get this loose.
The new batsman is Harris Effendi. Right-hand batsman, Sohaib will be coming over the wicket as per usual. He rarely comes around the wicket unless he's there's a particular reason. He's generally more comfortable coming over the wicket. Here he is, hat-trick ball. Not a bad delivery. Batsman had a swipe at it. Was not much room just outside the off stump. Not bad for the hat-trick delivery. Didn't pick up the hat-trick, dot ball, but a good over so far. Exactly what the Badshahz needed at this stage to really drag Golden Eagles back into the hole that they had tried desperately to climb out of. Stroked away. There should be 2 runs in this. They should be pushing hard for 2. They need every run they can get at this stage. Silby coming in from the deep. Unable to restrict them. They came back for 2. Just the 1 ball left now in the 17th over. Run rate is creeping up to 15 runs per over. Again, for 3 overs, we have seen bigger run chases occur. Good delivery, just beat him all up for pace. Had a swipe at it, but was way too late on that. End of the over, excellent over. Soeb's figures 20 for 2 after 3, and that was a particularly good over. 2 wickets for just 3 runs. 17 gone, 6 for 120. Needing 47 runs from just 3 overs.
What an incredible over from Sohaib and Julian. Skipper Ali preserving, holding back for the spearhead seamer of his, bringing him back into the 17. He hasn't been able to afford that option so much in this 9 Sports T20 League, but tonight he had a lot of options. Here's a quick look at the warm chart. Cluster of couple of wickets in the 17th and back-to-back in the 12 and 13. So it's turning out to be quite an uphill battle, a very tough task from the required run rate perspective, but what an over that was from Sohaib Chaudhary in his 3rd and picking up 2 consecutive. So that's the number at the moment. Adnan and Haris in the center from Golden Eagles. 120 for the loss of 6. Mushtaba to continue, sends it down into the offside. Good length delivery. Adnan takes a full heave header, tries to go across the line. No connection made. Dot delivery, an extremely valuable and important dot delivery at the moment. Down the leg this time, just picks it from the feet, sends it down to the fine leg region. They do come back for 2 comfortably. Yeah, Golden Eagles, from my view at this moment, would have to do something extraordinary out of their skin to be able to chase this down. They do have 4 wickets in hand, but to be able to score 17 and over from the last 3, it's pretty tough. Straight down the ground, past the bowler into the long off region, take a quick single. Rizzi, I believe, being the fielder on that occasion. Right in the middle, pulls very comfortably, plays it from the back foot, middles it, sends it down into the onside, past the circle for a 1. Very good over thus far for Mushtaba, who's bowling his 3rd. He's gone for 19, has picked up a wicket from Badshahz perspective. Withdraws the run up. We'll have to redo this. Fuller into the off, plays it on the full into the cover, take a single. This went past the circle into the mid-off region. Last delivery remaining in this 18 from Mushtaba. Haris on strike. Fuller into the off. Plays it pretty well into the cover. Beats the fielder. Gets cut from the boundary and they take 2. So here we go, folks. At the end of the 18, Golden Eagles, 129 for the loss of 6. Badshahz completely in control. Golden Eagles needing 19 and over in the last 2 with 4 wickets in bank.
Yes, the 4 wickets probably not going to do them too much at this stage. Obviously, if they lose a wicket, they're going to use them. but main thing is 38 runs from 2 overs. So they really need 2 consecutive hefty overs to have any chance of winning this match. Once again, match still has to play out. Stranger things have happened. We did see a 24-run over not too long ago, about 5 or 6 overs ago. That man, Badshahz, is now out, sitting back in the pavilion. We've got 2 relatively new batsmen. Adnan's still there, Haris Effendi, neither of them with their current run rate looking to threaten the 19 runs per over required, but see what happens. Good looking shot, cut down through the deep gully region. They should come back for 2. That's a start. They need over 3 runs per ball, so they definitely need some 4s and 6s in this. A couple of maximums might help, or should certainly help. Even that may not be enough. They really need to keep pushing here. Soeb bouncing back from a wayward start earlier in the match with the previous over, where he picked up 2 wickets clean bowled. His figures are now looking rather more respectable. But strays down the leg side, going to be called a wide. Can't afford to do that. May be able to get away with it when still requiring 19 runs per over. But nonetheless, captain would not be happy. That's not the way you seal out a match. Just needs to bowl it at the stumps, at the pads, let them get a single, even let him get 2. That's not going to be enough for them to get the required run. So just find the right line. Don't let the batsman any room. That was an uppish delivery, full toss. We're going to call, and we have confirmation that has been called a no ball for height. So no ball for height. So they got the run and the no ball, so 2 no balls. So that's 2 extra runs plus a free hit. So let's see what happens here. This could be drastic. If he gets onto this one, that could make all the difference. That's the way to counter a free hit. Ultimately gives up a bye. I don't think it's going to be called wide. No, it was wide-ish, but it certainly wasn't wide. Batsman had a wild swipe, didn't really look at the ball when he took that swipe, which is why he missed. So still 4 balls to come this over. That's a better delivery. It's driven away. They'll just get the 1. That's all Soeb needs to do at this stage. Let them get the run. It doesn't matter. Just bowl it at the toes. If they pick up a run, that's fine. Run rate's over 20 runs per over. So at this stage, just let them get the single, even let them get the 2. Just don't give up any free runs, don't give up any no balls and free hits. Just needs to relax, come in the crease. And that also helps when you clean bowl another one. Harris taking a huge swipe at that. Obviously, he doesn't have much choice at this stage. They really need to connect. Not the typical shot he would play under normal circumstances, but when you're chasing 31 runs in an over and a half, you really have to go for it. Unfortunately for him, he missed. Sohaib hit the stumps. Another wicket to Sohaib. He's got 3 wickets for 27 runs. And that really should bring the Badshahz home now. There's be highly unlikely that the Golden Eagles could take it from here. They need basically 4 runs per ball. Again, not impossible, but highly, highly unlikely. Not the sort of bet you would make in Vegas or any other underground betting ring. Camera feed, that seems to have gone away.
What's up?
believe we've lost our camera feed. That was just a dot ball there. There we go, feeds back.
Someone's playing on the cable. Okay, guys, hello. Guys, someone step on the cable. Someone.
And so that is the end of the over, I think. We'll get our scorers up to date. Put the scoreboard up to 100.
1 over 31 runs.
Yeah, Julian, this game, for my prediction, done in the books, done and dusted. Credit to Badshahz for being supremely disciplined in their batting and, more importantly, the bowling and the fielding. I believe their bowlers were able to make consistent inroads and pick up a scalp on regular basis. Here we go, the last over from Mudji from the hill end. This one just swivels into the fine leg. Should be caught, gets dropped while they take two in the middle. I don't think that damages much from Badshahz's campaign perspective. They are needing 29 from the remaining 5 deliveries in this Mushtabah's last over. Fuller into the off, comes down a little bit and sends it into the covers. Just past the circle. Not a whole lot of timing or the direction on that occasion from Adnan. Drizzle gets into the effects. At the stadium, super happy to have been able to bring you the most of the game. We should be able to complete it, close it. Typical Chicago's weather unpredictability. The rain wasn't in the picture for another hour or so yet. It's coming down, but we're glad that it's happening in the last over of the game. Fuller into the off, picks it up, sends it down the ground for a single. Quick proceedings from Mudji. Very well struck. Into the cover, off the back foot from Azhar. Take a single. We do have one more delivery to go. Badshahz should be prevailing tonight. Congratulations to them. Excellent game for them. This one just down the ground. Fuller into the offside for a maximum. That doesn't do anything. That should complete the game. Folks, we really appreciate you watching online and commenting on our feed and making it down to the ground. For those of